Hello everyone and welcome to the deadline stream for kind of the brand new FPL season. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for jumping in. We are very excited for the start of the new season. There's been plenty of discussion about how the team's going to line up for us. At the moment, this is our squad. Drop your teams in the comments if you guys have any questions or anything on how to kick off this season. We are very excited and we want to hear what you guys have to think as well. Thoughts on Shay Adams? Yeah, not a bad shout at 7 mil. Obviously, with Danny Ings leaving the team, he should be playing in the front two with the likes of Armstrong. Southampton's fixtures aren't the best to start the season, so I'd maybe steer clear of him in the short term. If I was to go for a Southampton striker, it probably would be Armstrong, actually. Hello, Hassan. Hello, Jonathan. How's it going, guys? Hello, David. Thank you so much for the sub. It's a bit unclear. Thoughts on Greenwood? I just listened to the Ollie press conference. He said that Sanchez was going to be involved in some capacity. So I'm not sure whether that's off the bench, whether Greenwood's going to be starting, and then Sancho comes on. I think it probably means Sancho's going to get subbed on. Amati is a transfer waiting to happen. Barnes minutes are a worry. Yeah. So Amati is the one that I've been looking at, and I'm not too sure what's going to happen with him. So I'm not really liking him at 4 mil at the moment. Obviously, they're going to bring in Vestergaard. You got much of the beast tomorrow morning? Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's going to be a bit of a grind getting up at 5 AM, but... Just going to check the stream. Rafinha versus Man U or Smith Rowe versus Brentford. I think you're back in Rafinha versus Man U is probably the nicest shout. Laka and Orba out. Yes, I saw that's a huge outs for Arsenal. I think Brentford may have a chance, somewhat of a chance. If Tony can fire, then Brentford could get their season off to 3 points potentially. Why don't you own Simicast? It's because I've gone for the Mane punt in midfield instead of Fernandes. I'm really liking Mane, and I think he could potentially outscore Fernandes in the first 4 weeks. No, Bruno is an unnecessary risk. I'm not going to say it's unnecessary, it's a risk, but it's Sadio Mane I feel like can match him for points, and I'm feeling like taking a punt this year. I've seen a lot of people just going for the template team, Salah, Fernandes, all those players. I'm liking the Sadio Mane differential at the moment. Is Vardy a bit too much at 10.5 million? Maybe slightly too much, but I think he's being overlooked by a lot of managers. I think he does play very well in the one striker formation that Leicester go for. They run that a couple of times last season. I remember they played Liverpool with that formation and they trumped them very easily with playing that. The one striker formation. Thoughts on Son? Yeah, definitely a nice shout at £10 million. Had a great pre-season. He seems to not really be affected whether Kane is in the team or not, which was the main thing I was concerned about with Son. Obviously, Kane is looking... I'm not sure if he's going to start for Game Week 1. Man City Game Week 1's a tough fixture. I am thinking of going Mahrez at 9 million and then switching to Son in Game Week 3 and 4. I have Mane and Bruno, captaining Mane. I think Mane outscores Salah. Yeah, well, I'm sort of the same as you, except I think Mane will outscore Fernandes. DCL, yeah, he's going to be starting. That's huge in for Everton. DCL and Richarlison are in for Everton. Is Saka starting for Arsenal? I'm not sure. It's with Lacazette and Aubameyang out. He may be starting for them. There's been a couple of key outs for Arsenal. So potentially starting. According to Fantasy Football Fix, Saka only has a 44% chance of starting at the moment. But I think it might be a little bit higher than that with the late outs. No Wolves players scandal. Yeah, well, we are big Wolves fans, so not at the moment. I mean, I don't really back us in, to be honest, this year under Bruno Lage. I like Nuno more as a manager, but maybe Game Week 4 for the Wolves assets might get him in. Son or DCL? I think Son is probably a more proven FPL asset, and I think he's got some nice fixtures Game Week 2, 3, 4. And I think he's, without Kane, as I said before, I don't think he's really affected that much. Opinions on also transfer to Brentford from Lorient. I'm not too sure, to be honest, mate, about that. Haven't seen too much on that. How about Wilson, because he has a good record against West Ham? Yeah, absolutely, I saw that. He scored 8 goals in his last 10 matches against West Ham, and I think that's obviously an elite record. Playing at home as well. Newcastle will be playing more attacking. West Ham, their defence is looking very solid this year. I was looking at that team lineup. They have a very nice team on paper. How they perform is a different thing with the Europa League. But I think Callum Wilson will be a good option. You going Amati over Simicast? Well, yes, simply because I've got Sadio Mane in the team, and that's taken up one of the Liverpool slots. Dean or Shaw, I think Luke Shaw has a high chance of clean sheets. I think they've got similar attacking return chance, but Shaw with a high chance of clean sheets. I like him. Where is Rafinha? I haven't gone with any Leeds assets for the short term because I've gone for Harvey Barnes over Rafinha. I think Harvey Barnes has been super impressive for Leicester, and especially he does very, very well when Leicester play one striker, so I think that's nice. Double up on Liverpool midfielders, yeah, I've gone with the Liverpool attack as opposed to the double up on Liverpool defence. Which attacker starts for Arsenal today? Well, let's just have a look at their team. If I pull up the predicted lineups on Fantasy Football Fix, I'll have a look. At the moment, so obviously there'll be Pepe. I'm assuming who else is there? Holding, Gabriel and Ketia and Partey all out. So they got obviously Aubameyang's out and Lacazette's out. Smith Rowe I think is potentially more likely to start now. Saka will probably start. Torreira, Maitland-Niles and Xhaka maybe in the midfield. Potentially El Neni, but I don't think so. I think it's probably going to be Torreira, Xhaka, Maitland-Niles and then Pepe, Smith Rowe, Saka, but I'm not really sure how they're going to organise that formation. It's going to be a weird formation. Yes, Amati might be replaced by Vestia. I'm thinking about making some last minute transfers to kind of get the defensive rotations going a bit. Simicast, Soufal or White and Ayling. Well, if I was... I like Soufal and I like White and Ayling. They're all good options. Maybe Simicast, Soufal for the short term. Greenwood, yeah, decent shout. With the recent interview about Jadon Sancho getting minutes, Greenwood will, I'm assuming, get around 65, 70 minutes because I'm sure Sancho will be keen to get some minutes and I'm sure Ollie want to start him as well. Thoughts on Chambers? Not bad. I don't know if Bellerin's going to play right back or Chambers is going to play right back. I think Bellerin's probably more likely to start, I think. Please rate my team. Sanchez, Dean, Arnold, Shaw, Simicast, Fernando, Son, Rafinha, Tony, Wilsop, Son for Ben Rama and Tony for Lukaku Broke 7. Yeah, I think that's a great team. Nice balanced team. I like the transfer strategies as well. How good are the Tigers? Yeah, wow, that was fun. I actually enjoyed watching that game so much. Nobody is going for Brighton assets, the likes of Trossard, Mope. Yeah, well, Mope significantly underperformed his XG last year. Actually had the 10th highest XG last season. So if you like the XG stat, then Mope is the guy, but conversion rates in the bin for him. I've done the same thing, double Liverpool midfielders. That's class, mate. Legends FC, I love that. It's good to have a couple of other people doing it. It makes me feel slightly better. Mane and Salah, whoa, yes. It's a big call, but I think it could be a nice one. Who's your strikers? Oh, sorry, yeah. So we've gone with Ings, Antonio, and then the 4.5 option in Scarlet. I wouldn't rotate. So I'm currently unsure about this defensive situation, right? Ben White, yeah. So I'm going to be playing in-game. It's going to be a 4-4-2 formation like this. With Amati, Brownhill, and Skull on the bench, right? Amati is going to play probably 1 week or 2 weeks. And I'm not going to start him for game week 2. And then he's gone. If I'm not going to start him for game week 1, then what am I doing with him, right? That's my thinking right now. So I don't know if I just have him there. And then it leaves me with... I have to play Ben White, essentially, for every other week if Amati's not going to play. So I'm almost going to play every week Alexander-Arnold, Shaw, Soufal. And then I choose between my 4mm defender and my 4.5 defender. And I've got a couple of headaches there, obviously, since I don't have Simicast because I'm going with Mane. So I've had to sacrifice there. Thoughts of Dean and Soufal, 100%. I like them. I'm not too sure about Dean's clean sheets, and I don't know if he's going to be on set pieces. So I'm not personally going with Dean. It's a nice price at 5.5, but maybe not for me. In terms of defender, so this is what I'm thinking, right? Ben White, I'm going to play him for game week 1. Chelsea at home, Lukaku will probably be starting for Chelsea for that week. They're not going to get a clean sheet. City away, they're not going to get a clean sheet, right? Game week 4 is a nice fixture. So what happens if I just don't have Ben White for the first 3 weeks and I can bring him in game week 4 and go for a defender that has nice fixtures for the first 3 weeks that I can play every week? That's my thought process. And that allows me to get away with having a 4 mil defender on the bench that's not going to play. Arsenal strikers are injured. Martinelli is their starting striker 5.5 mil. Yes, that's true. I actually didn't discuss Martinelli before. My bad, I forgot about Martinelli. Yeah, but definitely he should be starting, which is a nice option. 5.5, I don't know if I go for him though, because he's going to be a very short-term option. Thoughts on Tony? I think he's a good shout at 6.5. He seems like a very confident player. He's been hyping himself and Brentford a bit in the pre-season, which you've got to like about strikers. So I think Tony tonight for Brentford could prove to be a nice option, and I'm sure a lot of people will be very happy if he can get himself a goal. Legends FC, goalkeeper, I will go double on Brighton. Yeah, that's nice. What about Scarlett? Yeah, so I did have Obafemi, right? I could go for Paritza from Watford. Scarlett, he will be the second striker technically if Kane leaves. Kane is still there at the moment, so I'm not too sure about him. It could be really any 4.5 striker. I mean, they're not going to play, right? Thoughts on Zaha? Not a bad shout, except Eze's not going to be playing because he's done his Achilles, which I think Zaha may lack some attacking partners. He's obviously got Benteke there, but I'm pretty sure Palace's fixtures are a bit difficult. Oh, let's change this. That's brilliant. Zaha fixtures, Chelsea, that's not a great fixture. Brentford home's a nice one. West Ham, Spurs, Liverpool, Brighton, Leicester, Arsenal. Oh, that's not great, to be honest. He's got Brentford at home, really, and Brentford's defence is not too bad. So maybe not Zaha at the start of the season. Later on, maybe. Thoughts on Callum Wilson? I think he's a great pick, Callum Wilson. He's going to be a nice differential option for sure, and he scores a lot of goals against West Ham. Amati might not play because Vestergaard just signed for Leicester. Yeah, that's the thing. So that's what I was just discussing before. Right? I'm not going to start Amati for game week 1. I'm not going to start him for game week 2, and then he's going to be out of the squad. So what's he in my team for? I'm going to need a player that will play for 4.5 that I will be confident to start for the first 3 weeks of the season, right? So if we go to the FDR, right? The first 3 weeks of the season, you look at the teams which are most likely have a 4.5 defender that are going to get the most clean sheets for the first 3 weeks, right? Arsenal, Brentford, yes. Chelsea and City, 100% no. Aston Villa don't have any 4.5 defenders. Brighton, Burnley, Watford, Everton. I'm really liking that first 3. And then they've got Brentford week 4 as well, which is nice. I've already got Sanchez in goals, but I could potentially go for a double up there. Tony has scored 71 goals in the last 18 months, opinions. Yeah, he's on fire. 100% Tony's on fire, and I think his confidence is high, and that's what you want for a striker. So if I'm going for Tony, I think that's not a bad choice. And then Burnley, they've got Liverpool game week 2. I'm not going to start him. Chelsea, no 4.5s. Everton, will Everton have a starting £4.5 million defender? That's the thing. Just do Veltman and Ayling together. That's true, but I'm not going to have enough money because I've got currently 0 in the bank with the remaining budget because I want to go with Barnes instead of Rafinha. I don't really want to sacrifice Barnes. Brentford, I don't know about their clean sheets. United, not going to have a 4.5 defender. Newcastle, I don't trust their defence. Wolves, no. Crystal Palace, no. All those teams, no. So, I think the team that has the best 4.5 defender in terms of clean sheets for the first 3 weeks might actually be Brighton. Which is interesting, right? Because Amati's not going to play, and there's not really too many other £4 million defenders that are going to play for Tsimikas. So maybe if I just go remove Ben White, chuck in Veltman. I go Veltman for the first 3 weeks, potentially first 4 weeks, and then I can switch to either a Wolves defender for 4.5 or an Arsenal defender for 4.5. Are you going for early wildcard? If so, when? Potentially, I've I'm looking at it, and I've seen a lot of other people in general talking about using an early wildcard, so probably around like the game week 7, 8 mark, potentially. I'm sorry, I'm biased Sancho in. Yeah, well, I guess if you're biased towards Sancho, then you're going to put him in, but I'm not too sure that he's going to start the game. I think he might come off the bench. Thoughts, guys? Pickford, Shaw, Dean, White, Simicast, Salamano, Son, Ings, Antonio Wilson. Yeah, so you've gone with Simicast over Alexander-Arnold, which is... It's a risky call, to be honest, because I think Alexander-Arnold's a nice long-term option. If you are going to early wildcard, then you can maybe just get away with it. But I like the Salamane in midfield. It's a very nice midfield, actually. Salamane, Son, Ings, Antonio Wilson's it's a nice team, yeah. 3 midfield, 3 premium midfield is not bad. It's a differential team, so I've got to reward it. I like the differential teams. So at the moment, I think this is maybe the late change that we make, because Burnley away and Brentford away are similar in difficulty for a defensive standpoint. That leaves me with nothing in the bank. I could throw out 0.5 to upgrade Amati to Ailing, which is obviously the common defensive combination at the moment. It's good to having autocorrect on this. It's very fun. Ailing, I could go there, but I got to throw out 0.5, and I don't really know where I'm going to throw out 0.5 from, to be honest. I don't really want to go Rafinha in for Barnes. I don't really want to downgrade Mahrez because I want to have a City player, unless I go for Gundogan, but De Bruyne may potentially come back. So I may just go with Amati. Your ranking in previous seasons, we've come around 100k the last couple of seasons, so we've done decent, but this year we're going serious from the start. Last year we weren't going fully intense from the start, but for this season we've put a bit more effort in. I feel like we want to go inside the top 100k this year. Hassan, hello FPL there, mate. How's it going? So I think that's the play at the moment. Maybe White out for Veltman, and then we can rotate him because we don't have any money in the bank for Amati. We'll leave Amati first bench for now. Brownhill's out, it's fine. Begovic is the sub keeper because I feel like at some point, yeah, he will play because Everton Pickford is so different from England Pickford. It's crazy how much his skill just drops off at Everton, and he did get dropped for periods last season. So potentially, Begovic at 4 could be a nice option. Only a 2.3% ownership. Obviously, a lot of people are going with Foster, and I had Foster for a long time as well, but just seeing Begovic at 4 million in the Everton defence will be stronger than the Watford defence. And I do think that Pickford will get dropped at some point of the season. One last tip for FPL managers. I think especially at the start of the season, back yourself in, back your picks in. Don't really listen to all the noise from everyone else, because I think you got to do your own research and do the players that you feel are the best rather than going based on other people's teams. And in terms of late transfers in and out, taking kits, back in your team. Don't rush to get on a whole bunch of other players that other people are getting. Just back yourself in and go for your team. And I feel like that's what I've done this year with Salah and Mane. Everyone's saying Fernandes, but I'm backing in my Mane pick, and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't come off, it doesn't come off. If it does come off, that's awesome. Score prediction: Brentford or Arsenal versus Arsenal. I think now that Aubameyang and Lacazette are out, I might go 1-1. It's a bit boring, but I might go 1-1. I think Arsenal's defence is still strong despite not having any forwards, but I do think Tony's confident, and I don't think Brentford can keep out Arsenal either. Obafemi or Paritza. Oh, that's the other change I've got to make, yeah. So I may go Paritza instead because obviously with that Armstrong signing, Obafemi, I'm not sure. What's the deal? I've heard Obafemi may potentially be getting transferred, but I'm not sure. Can anyone give me news on Southampton, Obafemi, whether he's staying or leaving, or what's happening with him? And Paritza. I'll have a look at the pretty good lineups here on Fantasy Ball Fix. Watford's pretty good lineup. So they've got Gray starting, potentially in striker, then Paritza. So they've really got multiple strikers here. They've got Gray, then they've got Deeney, then they've got Paritza. So he's really the third choice, right? Whereas Obafemi, he's probably going to be the other starting choice because Southampton played 2 strikers. So he may be the first bench option technically for that striker position. Yeah, minus 1-1. Yeah, same as you, mate. Yeah, I got 1-1 for Arsenal Brentford. Blackburn are interested in Obafemi, but for now he's still staying. Oh, cheers, Jonathan, mate. That's good. That's good news. Thank you for the update. Whether he goes or stays, yeah, I'm not too sure. So, yeah, so I feel like the front two for Southampton are most likely going to be Armstrong and Adams. They have got Redmond. They have also got Teller. But Obafemi did get a couple of minutes last year and he actually looked decent for them. So I think because Southampton are playing 2 strikers, it's more chance of Obafemi getting minutes, but it's really, it doesn't matter that much, to be honest. Surely you crack 3K on the stream. Yes, I know. I'm really hoping, guys, can we hit 3K by game week 1, which we're like so close now. It'd be elite if we could hit it on stream. We're literally for 5 subscribers off 3K. Surely we can hit the big 3K on stream. It's 5 subscribers. Surely 5 of you in the chat can hit the big subscribe button. That'd be so awesome to hit on stream. So we're going with Obafemi, I think, as our striker option. Obviously Scarlett, I'm not too sure about him because Kane will play. If not, someone playing striker. If not, Dele Alli will play in striker. So we'll go with Obafemi there on the 3rd bench. So I do like the change of bringing in Veltman. I think it probably offers me better sort of solidarity in the squad for the first 3 weeks. Thoughts on Fosu from Brentford? Yeah, so I'm not too sure, mate. I don't know whether he's going to start or not. Fosu Henry's according to Fantasy Ball Fix, he's got a 55% chance of starting. Their front 3 for Brentford is most likely going to be Mbeumo, Tony, and Sergi Canos. If not, a front 2 of Tony and Mbeumo. In terms of, he may play on the wings in midfield, I'm not too sure. But if you're going for a Brentford asset, then it's going to be Mbeumo or Tony. And I think since Mbeumo is also positioned as a midfielder, it looks like he could be lining up in a front 2 with Tony. So he could be a decent differential shout to Tony if you back that in. I think Mbeumo is more the assister to Tony. And there's technically only 1 point difference between Tony scoring and Mbeumo assisting. And there's a mil difference. So if you wanted to go for that risk, then maybe. But those would only be the 2 Brentford attacking assets. So, yeah. Do you think Dele's going to start against City? I do think Dele's going to start against City because Nuno's been loving him in the pre-season. He's been getting plenty of minutes and he's been looking very good for Spurs as well. He was decent for them at the back end of last season as well. I think he's most likely going to line up in sort of a cam role. Whether Kane plays or not, if Kane plays, Dele Alli will be playing cam behind Kane. If Kane doesn't play, Son will be striker, Ali will be cam. I think either way, Dele Alli will start. Only 4 more subs till 3K. Can we hit it on stream? 32 viewers right now. Surely 4 of you can hit the subscribe button. It'll be class if we hit on stream. But yeah, I do think Ali will play against City. He could be a nice value actually, Ali. He's pretty cheap. I think he's playing in midfield, yeah. Just realised you only have 2 Brighton defence. Are you coming for it? Yeah, so I did originally have Ben White instead of Veltman. And because I don't have any other rotating defender there, I've got Amati there, and he's not going to be playing if I'm being realistic. I have to choose a defender for the first 3 weeks who I think is going to... I have to pick a 4.5 defender that I have to start every week that I think it has the highest chance of defensive returns for 3 weeks. And I think it's Brighton's defence. It's super risky going for a double up, obviously. And it's... I feel like it's not going to work all the time because they're not going to get a clean sheet every game. But I think it's going to give me better flexibility than Ben White. Barnes or Greenwood? I reckon Harvey Barnes, to be honest, because I don't think Greenwood's going to play the full 90 minutes. and everyone's predicting it to be a very high-scoring game. I'm not saying it's not going to be a high-scoring game, but Leeds have improved their defence. I don't whether Sancho starts or not. I'm not sure, but I think Sancho will come onto the pitch, taking minutes away from Greenwood. So I do think Harvey Barnes. He's looked elite in pre-season, and he is predicted a lot of points by Fix. Ooh, it's Harvey Barnes. I think he's a great choice. Will DCL start? He's not yelling anymore. Yeah, DCL is confirmed to start. So they did a press conference for Everton recently. DCL and Richarlison are confirmed to start for Everton. I think Kane confirmed not to play game week 1. Yeah, I think so too. So I think Son will be lining up in striker, which actually I think doesn't make Son it makes Son actually a very good option, to be honest. How long do you hold on a player before you transfer? Well, I'm just trying to based on bad form. I would give it probably 3 weeks, to be honest. Two bad performances in a row. I'm not going to transfer him out after 2 bad weeks. A third bad week in a row, then yeah. But 1 week, 100% no. Shaggy, hello mate, welcome to the stream, good to have you in. Which Chelsea defender do you think will start? I currently have Alonso, as sure only joined training recently and Tuchel didn't give too much away in his presser. Yeah, and that's the thing with Tuchel, mate, he doesn't really say too much, but I think I was tossing up this the whole day looking at who's going to start. Alonso played in the Champions League, in the Super Cup, and he was looking super attacking, and he was in the box so many times. But I think Alonso may start, to be honest. I think Alonso may start. Cavani or Martial? Cavani is going to be out for up until game week 3. He's currently isolating from the team, so Martial looks to be the one that will start. And also, just a quick update, guys. Thank you so much for 3K. We just hit 3K on stream. That's class from you, lads. Thank you so much for hitting the subscribe button. That's elite, coming to the brand new season in Game Week 1, hitting 3K subs. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that, guys. That's a huge achievement, so I'm gassed about that. Thank you so much, lads. I'm struggling to choose between Mbeumo or Dean. I think Dean, probably. Because he's a proven FPL asset. He's got a very high XA for defenders. Yes, Everton don't get that many clean sheets. Mbeumo's more of a risky pick, and yes, he'll get a couple of assists here and there, but he's not proven yet in the Premier League, and I think Tony's more of that Premier League standard Brentford asset. Yeah, Martial's coming up. Yeah, Jonathan, mate, you're all over it. It's class. 1.4 million I should have. I already own Simicast. Well, I've got Amati, and he's going to play for a week, I guess, so Amati's probably the best £4 million defender apart from Simicast. Chuck some good £4 million defender options in the chat as well. I believe Amati's probably the best choice apart from Simicast. Start Reece James. I'm not sure about if I'm going to go for a Chelsea defender for 5.5, then I'm going for Marcus Alonso, I reckon, because his amount of time in the box is outrageous. He's literally playing striker half the time. It's crazy. Should I put Cancelo? That's a risky one. I think he will start for the first week because Kyle Walker is currently out of the team, so there's not too much competition for his spot. And if you want, I think he should be okay for game week 2 as well. So maybe as a little 2-week punt before he starts getting rotated around. But yeah, I'm not too sure. You never know with City assets, to be honest. It's a bit risky. I guess I'd go for Cancelo. If you're going for any City defender, I'd probably go for Cancelo. But yeah, I need Lukaku, mate. Yeah, I'm hyped about Lukaku. I was a bit disappointed that his price was 11.5. I wanted it to be 11. Comment below what you thought what you wanted Lukaku's price to be realistically. I wanted it to be 10.5 because I didn't want to spend that extra 0.5 to 11, but 11.5 was a bit more than I was expecting. He is going to miss game week 1 though. I think he should be good for game week 2. And I think he will be class. I think coming into the Premier League now this time will be a lot better than he was in the previous times. Alien Sports, I've been watching for a while and I've realised there are 2 different voices in your videos. Is there more than one person involved in your channel? Yeah, so there's me. I do most of the speaking for the channel, and my brother does the editing and graphics for the channel as well. He occasionally speaks as well. So we do it together. I do most of the research and recording. He does the editing and graphics and everything, so it's a nice little combination we've got going there. Will Pepe start for Arsenal? Is he fit? Yes, Pepe will be starting for Arsenal, and I don't think he's a bad shout, to be honest. I think it's a nice price. He had a very good end to last season, and he was a bit Iron Robin-esque sometimes with cutting into the box and putting them into the side netting on the left foot. Is Omobama Dele going to miss Game Week 1? Yes, I believe Zimmerman came back from injury for Norwich, and I think Zimmerman potentially will start. Actually, have a look at this now. It looks like Omobama Dele potentially will start instead of Zimmerman. How many times left for first? How much time left for first game? The first game starts in around 5 hours and 4 minutes. The first game starts in. The deadline though is 90 minutes before the first kickoff. 4 hours away. You got to make sure all your transfers. 3.5 hours away. Sorry, 3.5 hours before you have to make all your transfers for the team. I have both Mane and Salah. Thoughts? Yeah, same. I think Salah Mane is a nice choice. It's more differential, probably more high risk than Fernandes, but you know what, it's worth a punt. How many times? Do you think Dean will take set pieces because Mbeumo takes corners, free kicks, and plays at ST? That's the thing with Dean. He's a bit of a doubt for set pieces, but I do think from open play he's still decent as well, and he offers the obviously clean sheets as an alternative for our source of points compared to Mbeumo. I don't know if Mbeumo is going to play striker. I think he actually might play in a front two with Tony today. But I think Dean should get more points across the first 4 weeks, in my opinion. It says illness for Omobama Dele and FPL app. Is that true? I haven't really been looking at Omobama Dele that much. Omo, right? Omo. Oh my gosh, the autocorrect is mental. Omobama Dele illness. Yes, I think he will start. According to Fix, Omobama Dele and Gibson is a likely combination. According to them, Omobama Dele has a 92% chance of playing. Zimmerman was going to be playing, but I think Omobama Dele may be back in the team. Will Smith Rowe start for Arsenal? Also, yes, I do think Smith Rowe will start for Arsenal, especially with Aubameyang and Lacazette out. I think Martinelli will come in, and potentially I think Smith Rowe will play. Even though he'll come off as a sub. My midfield is Salah, Mane, Bruno, Benrahma, Sarr. That's a nice midfield, jeez. Triple primo midfield plus Benrahma and Sarr. I like Benrahma and Sarr as a 6 mil picks. I think they're going to have a nice season this year, and that is a stacked midfield. Jeez, yeah, I'd expect a lot of points from that midfield. Calvert-Lewin or Antonio? I think Antonio is a better option. He's $500,000 cheaper, and also James is out for Everton, and he does create a decent amount of chances for Calvert-Lewin. And Antonio had a ridiculous XG per 90 last year, and I think he will get more points. Thoughts on Ashley Barnes? I don't know if he's going to start, mate. He is the biggest whinger I think I've ever seen Ashley Barnes. The guy complains about absolutely everything. But I don't think he's going to start. Let's have a look. I think it's going to be Vidra, and it's going to be Vidra and Wood as their strikers. Ashley Barnes won't start. What about DCL, Ings, Antonio? That's a nice, yeah. That's if you're going to go for them in a front three. If you're going to go DCL and Antonio together, then I think that's a nice choice. It's a nice forward. Yes, the other person that edits videos right now. Let's not spam in the chat. Yeah, I'll try and answer every single question. Don't spam, please. Will DCL start? Yes, DCL is going to start. Everything just did a press conference, and both DCL and Richarlison will be starting. James Rodriguez is out though. That's the only thing. But DCL and Richarlison are starting. Rafinha or Benrahma? That's a very difficult one because Benrahma's looked class in pre-season, and we know Rafinha's a proven asset, and he's exciting for Leeds. It's actually such a tight call. I still don't know who I'd go for between Rafinha and Benrahma. If you already have Antonio in your team, then maybe go for Rafinha just to spread out the assets because Antonio will be getting your attacking returns. If you don't have Antonio, then go for Benrahma. Dude, are you Aussie? Yes, thank God. We put a poll on Twitter. asking where you guys think we're from, and people saying South Africa and stuff like, how are we from South Africa? Yeah, we're Australian. It's obviously not ideal times for Premier League games for us here, but we get up, we go on, we watch the games. It's good.
Top left corner is the time right now in Melbourne, so it's pretty. The times are pretty scuffed, but it's all part of the hustle.
What do you think of my team? Sanchez, Dean, Shaw, Simicast. Nice, good defence. Son, Bruno, Salah, Mahrez, Rafinha. That's a class midfield. Gee, that's a premium midfield. Forwards, Tony, Antonio. Yeah, it's a nice team, mate. Can't fault the team. It's a weak bench though. I wouldn't be. You got no one on the bench that's going to play, so I'm assuming you're going to be starting the same players every week. So when Simicast is gone, I'm not sure what you're going to do, but I like the team. The starting team is very strong. Thoughts on Richarlison? Yeah, I think it's a nice pick. I think £500,000 cheaper than DCL. I think Richarlison suits the way Benitez wants to play more than Calvert-Lewin, so potentially could produce similar numbers to Calvert-Lewin at the start of the season. Do you think that City isn't so good now? Mahrez will score 2 points. Don't you think that? Leicester was really bad. No, I think City is still going to be good, mate. I think, yes, they don't have De Bruyne. Yes, they don't have Foden. But it's Man City. They're probably going to win the league, and they're still going to be one of the best teams. And I think Mahrez has very nice job security at the minute. No one's really contested his position too much. He's probably the most nailed on City attacker. So I'm liking him, especially for game week 2 against Norwich at home. That could be an absolute slapping. That could be like a 5-0 or 6-0. So I think if I don't have a City player for game week 2, I'll be hiding behind my couch watching that game for sure. South Africans hate being called Aussies, really. That's a bit harsh. But I don't know how people think the accent sounds the same. New Zealand and South Africa have a similar accent. Australians don't have a similar accent to New Zealand or South Africa.
Compare Davey FPL to us, there's a massive difference. I think Davey FPL is South African, and you can compare that to how we sound, nothing like that.
Thank you, because if DCL and Richarlison start without hammers, it means Dean will probably be main credit. That is true, yeah. Dean will probably be creating the most chances, I guess, if Hammers isn't playing. Time from Melbourne. Good luck, stay up till 5 a.m. I think the plan is get a little power nap in for like a couple of hours or something, then get up for 5 a.m. It's pretty difficult staying up until 5 a.m. That's a grind, mate. Will Saka start? I think he will start, yeah. I think he will start. So, not a bad option there. There's a lot of competition there for Martinelli, Smith Rowe, and Saka. But I think Saka might start, yeah. Ings or DCL? I reckon Ings, mate. At 8 mil, Ings has got some elite fixtures. The first 3, go for Ings. Then if you want, you can switch to DCL. But I think Ings definitely for the first 3 will be nice. He's got so much nice service around him. Richarlison or Antonio. I think Antonio still at 7.5 is better than Richarlison. Obviously, he's going to be starting. Richarlison will be starting this week, but Antonio has some nice. He's got better underlying stats than Richarlison. And Antonio will be getting lots of the service. I don't know if Richarlison's going to be playing in striker or out wide. And as I said before, Everton are missing Hammers, which does slightly decrease the service to the lads up top. Have you seen the new plans for the Leicester City Stadium? It looks sick. I actually haven't. I've seen the plans for the Everton Stadium and it looks class. It looks a lot better than the one they got now. But I have not seen the plans for the new Leicester Stadium. Who's going to start at left back for Chelsea? Alonso, Chilwell, or maybe Emerson? I think Alonso will start for the first week, and then I think Chilwell's going to start game week 2 just as he builds up his fitness and sort of recovers. Obviously, Alonso did play in the Super Cup final, which is the only thing that makes me think he may not be at his full fitness for the first game week. But I think there's a couple of things pointing towards that he may be starting. It's very risky going for either one, to be honest. It's up in the air who's going to start there. Who should I start? Pick 2 out of 3. Simicast, Shaw, or Sufal? That's a very tough question. I think, depending if you've already got Trent, then I'd start Sufal and Shaw. If you don't have Trent, then start Tsimikas and Shaw. I think Shaw's got to start. It's between Tsimikas and Soufal. But, yeah, I don't know. I think if Norwich score and you've got both of them, then you're kind of screwed. How will Chelsea line up in the front three? Yeah, so I think it's going to be Werner in striker. I think let's pull it line up real quick. For Chelsea, Werner will be in striker because Lukaku's not been playing game week 1. The Werner in striker, I think maybe Havertz on the left, Pulisic on the right, and Mount in the cam. I think that's probably going to be their formation. Yeah, I think that is probably going to be their formation. There'll be Havertz, the main striker up top, and then slightly behind on the wings, that Havertz and Pulisic, and then behind him, Mason Mount. You do have Trent, so that's such a tough decision. Yeah, 100% Trent starting. Maybe go Trent, Tsimikas, Shaw, and bench Soufal. Like, I'm starting Soufal, but probably Trent, Tsimikas, Shaw. That's what I reckon. Havertz, Mount, and Werner, Pulisic, I guess. Yeah, I think that's what I said as well. Yeah, so that's probably going to be the front 3/4. I think Mount will play in cam, Pulisic on the right, Havertz on the left, Werner in striker. That's probably going to be the thing. Barnes a fitness risk. I think you should be right. There is a couple of doubts over him, but I do think he's more than likely he should play, I think. Wait, so how many people do you have involved in channel? Just the two of us, just me and my brother.
Hello.
Does the editing and the speaking. Do we do it combined together and everything? So yeah, just the two of us. Do you think DCL will play? Yeah, DCL is going to play. Everton just did the press conference. DCL and Richarlison are playing. James is out with an illness. But yes, DCL and Richarlison are the big ins for Everton. Who do you support in the Prem? We are Wolves fans in the Prem. Haven't got any Wolves players in the team. We're not too biased towards them. Honestly, I'm not backing in Wolves this season to have a nice year. They've also got Jimenez back. I'm not too sure about our play style. I think we should play more defensive because I don't know if we have the attacking prowess yet with Neto's injured. But yeah, maybe some Wolves assets for game week 4. We'll see. Who are you putting to get relegated this year? Okay, so I think Watford are going to get relegated. I think Norwich are going to get relegated. And then it's going to be between Brentford, Southampton and Palace, maybe, for that final relegation spot. But yeah, I was having a look at Watford's team before, and it's not great. Thank you, mate. No worries, mate. No worries. Anytime. We'll have it be a good choice. I was hoping that he was going to play in striker, and I did have him in a couple of previous drafts, but it looks like he's going to be pushed out wide because Ziyech is obviously picked up that injury. So I think instead of Havertz playing more centrally, Havertz is going to be pushed out wide. I think it's going to decrease his potential, and I think he's really only a game week 1 option. You'll have him for game week 1. You'll probably transfer him out after that. No more Calvert-Lewin. Well, he's going to be playing, yeah, but I'm liking my strike force of Ings and Antonio at the minute. I think those two have nicer short-term fixtures, especially Danny Ings at the £8 million price point. If I want, I can maybe switch to Calvert-Lewin after, see how he goes. Bruno, yeah, I haven't gone with Bruno. It's a risky team. Without Bruno, it's obviously a risky team. But this is how it's going to line up, and it's Salah Mane for me. I've took the punt with Mane over Fernandes, but I think short term Mane could potentially score more points. If it doesn't work, all good. So do you think it will be smart putting Dean and DCL? If you back in Dean, then that's fair play. I guess his fitness, he's not going to be 100%, but he's playing. So I guess it does increase Dean's appeal if he's actually got a striker to aim for with his crosses. So that's not bad. I wouldn't necessarily. It's not a smart play. So I guess it's not a bad decision going for Dean DCL. Thoughts on Chris Wood to be the hidden gem for game week 1? Yeah, not bad. I don't think so, to be honest. He could score. If I could pick any Brighton player to score, it would be Chris Wood, and they might score. So maybe him. Whether he gets a brace or not, I'm not too sure, but he could be on the score sheet. I'm not going to put it past him. Yeah, because Everton have a nice starting fixtures. Yeah, well, I guess if you go for the first 6 or 7 game weeks, then double Everton, not too bad. Sarves Villa or Sufal versus Newcastle. I think Sufal versus Newcastle. Thoughts on Simicast? Yeah, I don't have him in my team because I've got triple Liverpool with Salah and Mane, but I do think it's a great choice at 4 mil. I just simply can't have him because I've already got Mane as my third Liverpool slot. What about Dunk? 5 mil for Dunk is probably £500,000 more than I want to be spending on a Brighton defender. I prefer to just go for Veltman. Obviously, Dunk, he really only offers header potential, and I'm not going to have a Brighton defender for a long time, so I think 4.5 is what I'd be spending on a Brighton defender, so maybe steer clear of Dunk. Any 4.0 defenders are, I guess, Amati will be playing for Game Week 1, and Simicast is a nice choice. Rafinha and Wilson, or perhaps Greenwood and Tony. I think Rafinha and Wilson personally, because Greenwood's not going to be playing the full 90 minutes according to the United interview. It looks like Sancho will be coming onto the pitch at some point according to Solskjaer. He said he will be involved, so whether that means Greenwood gets subbed on or Greenwood starts, I'm not too sure, but I don't think Greenwood is going to be getting more than 70 minutes personally. What mic do you use to record your videos and where can I get it? Obviously at the moment we aren't using the mic we use to record our videos, but we do use a Rode NT USB for our videos. Simicast is dope. Yeah, that's actually game breaking. A 4 mil defender that's going to start for Liverpool is ridiculous, and he's attacking as well. So for the first 2 weeks, that's a steal at 4 mil. I wish I could have him, but I've got it back in Mane. Gundogan or Greenwood now that Sancho is involved? That's a good question actually. I think probably Greenwood still, because I think he will start for the first week. I don't know if he's going to start for the second week, but that's the same with Gundogan, right? Gundogan will probably start the first week, but I don't know what's going to happen from there. So, yeah, it's hard because they're not going to get the most minutes, both of them. Benrahma and DCL or Antonio and Rafinha? That's a tough choice. I think probably Antonio Rafinha. I think Antonio will get more returns than Benrahma, and Rafinha and DCL, I think DCL will score more. But yeah, I think if you're comparing strikers, DCL and Antonio, I think Antonio will score more, and that's what you've got to go off. Pepe, he's not a bad choice, you know, he will be starting for Arsenal. He's not a bad choice. He is slightly under the radar, I guess. But Brentford away for the first fixture is not bad. And he had a nice end to last season, so potentially a good option. I'm not going to say no to it. What about Dunk? I don't think so. If I'm going to go for a Brighton defender, I'm going to go for a 4.5 option. Mainly because I have 0 in the bank, but I would go for a 4.5 option anyway. Dean in isolation. No, Dean is going to be starting, I'm pretty sure. I haven't heard anything about Dean being in isolation. If anyone has heard anything about Dean being in isolation, let me know, but I don't think so. Gundo, Salah, Fernandez. Yeah, it's a nice midfield, I guess. I don't know about Gundo at 7.5, to be honest. I really don't know about the City midfield. The only one I know is probably going to start is Mahrez. Everyone else, I'm not sure. Is Mings worth a 5 mil? If you're going for a Villa defender at 5 mil, you got Cash, you got Mings, and you got Target. I think are the 3 best options. I would go for Target if I could go for any 5 mil Villa defender. Grealish or Mahrez? I think Mahrez. It's worth spending the extra mil for Mahrez because I don't think Grealish will get starting minutes. I think he's going to get off the bench minutes because he's going to ease his way into that City team. Who's going to be Arsenal's starting back 4? It looks like it's going to be Bellerin at right back instead of Chambers. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure it will be Bellerin. If not, it will be Chambers. Centre backs, it will be Ben White and potentially Pablo Mari actually, and then Tierney left back. I think is going to be their back 4. Will any Man City players in the team be a risk because none of them are actually a guaranteed starter? If I could pick any Man City player that I think has the highest chance of starting, it will be Riyad Mahrez. No one is contesting him for the right wing position at the moment, and with De Bruyne coming back, he'll take other positions that aren't Mahrez. And I think at least for the short term, yeah, I think Mahrez. OMG, is that Mane? See what? Yeah, well, that's the risk we're taking. We're going for Mane over Fernandez. I think Mane could make a nice start to the season, and he's a punt. If it doesn't come off, so what? But I'll be gassed if it comes off, and it's not necessarily a bad shout either. What do you think about Dean? I think he's a nice choice, especially now that Calvert-Lewin's back in. Everton's clean sheets, I'm not too sure, but attacking returns for Dean, you can't fold his expected assist numbers. He's a very nice assister, and with Calvert-Lewin back in, it does make him more appealing. Ings or DCL, I still think Ings. Go for Ings for the first 3 weeks, let him do his thing, and then you can switch to the DCL after if you feel like it. But I think for the first 3 weeks, Ings has got the better fixtures. You're back in Ings for the short term. Start Tony or Dean. I wouldn't really want to be benching either of them, to be honest, but that's a very tough decision. I think they're probably going to get very similar points. Maybe, geez, that's a tough decision. But if you could bench someone else, maybe go for someone else. Do you think Sufal and Rafinha or Ben Rama and Harrison? I think Sufal and Rafinha, personally. Is Target a risk because Young has arrived? I don't think Target is a risk. Young will be like the rotation defender. For the first game of the season, Target's not going to need to be rotated. He's in full health, to the best of my knowledge, so I think he will be starting. Bamford or DCL? That's a very tough call. I think probably DCL. Bamford maybe $500,000 overpriced, despite himself getting a lot of points last year. And I'm assuming you've already gone with Rafinha or Harrison in the midfield, so maybe DCL. I'm stuck between Ben White and Veltman for the first game. Yes, I literally just went from Ben White to Veltman on stream because of my situation with Amati not playing, and I don't have any money in the bank, and I need a defender that's 4.5 that could play for the first 3 weeks and potentially get clean sheets for the first 3 weeks. 2 questions. Is Premier League big in Melbourne, and who is your favourite FPL YouTuber? Premier League is pretty big in Melbourne. Everyone loves the Premier League. A lot of my friends are getting on the Fantasy Premier League. Premier League, I think, is huge in most countries, but in Australia, it's very big. The Premier League is very big. Who is your favourite FPL YouTuber? At the moment, I'm liking a bit of Nathan Bacon. I'm liking his Danny Ings content at the minute, and I think he's funny. Leicester's Pereira likely to start? Yes, I do think he will start. Castagna is out of the side at the moment, but I do think Pereira will start. I think it's going to be Pereira, Amati, Soyuncu, Bertrand as their back four for at least the start of the season. And I think when Castagna comes back in, I think he'll take Bertrand's spot instead of Pereira. So I think you're good with Pereira. Leicester's Pereira likely to start, yeah. I'm not sure Arsenal are going to keep a clean sheet versus Brentford. Yeah, that's why I took... Well, that was partially the reason why I took out Ben White. And also, people are saying, how are you saying Arsenal are not going to keep a clean sheet now just because they have Aubameyang and Lacazette? Sometimes attack is the best form of defence, and I think if Arsenal are spending less time attacking because they have less attacking players on the pitch, it means by default they're going to be spending more time defending. I think Arsenal are going to do good this season. They don't have a bad squad on paper. I think they do underperform. They've been underperforming a bit recently, so they have the potential to do better. Grealish or Gundogan? If I was going to go for a City player, I'd try and get Mahrez, but between those two, I don't think Grealish is going to start the first week, and Gundogan will, so for that reason, Gundogan. Yeah, that's true, mate. Jonathan, that is true. When there was a game, when Liverpool came to the MCG, there was 95,000 people there. And the MCG literally holds 100,000 people, and 95% of that is sold out, so I think that says everything you need to know. Who are you backing to be the first manager to get sacked? That's a harsh question. That's what Faz as well.
Oh wow.
I think if I could pick any manager to get
Faz,
sacked.
it's Bielsa.
Yeah, I reckon the Southampton manager, Hasenhüttl, I think will be the first one to get sacked. On FPL Phillips' stream, you said that Dean Smith told you stuff. How? Yeah, so our grandpa is related to Dean Smith, and he was able to ask him a couple of questions, and we were able to get some nice information from Dean Smith about Aston Villa's penalty duties and all that, but it's actually a very nice source of information for us from the Aston Villa team. So we got literal direct information from Dean Smith, which is absolute class. Troy Deeney-Worth, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to start. I think Gray will start for Watford. Buendia or Jota? I think Buendia, because I'm not sure about Jota's starting minutes. I think Firmino may get a start. So potentially Buendia. Midfield 5 with Salah, Mane, Benrahma, Barnes, Dallas. I like the midfield except for Dallas at 5.5 because he changed from defender to midfielder this year. He was getting a lot of points last year from clean sheets, but you won't get this year. So if you can maybe just drop that down to a midfield 4. Go Dallas down to a 4.5 midfielder, and then upgrade another one of the positions in your team for that extra mil. Trent, Simicast, Short, White, Salah, Fernandes, Rafinha, Son, Antonio, bench. I'm not going to play. I'm not sure whether to put Mahrez or Son. If I put Mahrez to save a mil, then I reckon go for Mahrez. Because Mahrez is going to be better for the first 2 weeks, and then you can make a couple of movements around and try and bring in Son later then, I guess. Pepe maybe score. Yeah, not a bad shout, I guess. Pepe's not a bad shout. I think he's slightly overlooked by some managers. Iheanacho or Antonio. I don't think Iheanacho is going to start, so go for Antonio in my opinion. I think Leicester are going to go with one striker up top, which is just going to be Jamie Vardy. I think Iheanacho will get benched. So go for Antonio. And also, with that formation with Leicester, I think it makes Maddison and Barnes very nice options as well, because they did extremely well in that formation last year. Rafinha or Harrison. I think Rafinha. Yes, Harrison got more points, but he played more minutes, and I think Rafinha had better stats per 90 minutes in terms of expected goals and expected assists. So I think for the 0.5 more, I think Rafinha will outscore Harrison this year. And personally, I wouldn't go for Stuart Dallas. I would go for either Rafinha or Harrison, but Rafinha seems to be the best Leeds option. Dallas is cheaper, yes, but he'll get a lot less points this year. Trust me on that one, mate. Dallas moving from defender to midfield to get less points. And do you think Tanganga will start for Spurs? Let's have a look at the Spurs team then. Spurs, it looks like they're going to play a back 4. I think it's going to be Doherty, Dyer, Joe Rodon, and Reguilon. I think Joe Rodon might get the start. Doing bench boost, that's risky, mate, first week, but I've got to respect the call. If you're going to go for it first week, then yeah, it's risky, but you know, if you feel like doing it, then I'm not going to say no, mate, just go for it. Soufal is such an overlooked option. 100% agree. The man had 9 assists last year. Was ranked top 5 for expected assists for defenders. And he's only 5 mil compared to a lot of other defenders that have got similar assists as him. Like Dean, who's 5.5. And I think West Ham's defence is decent. Depending on how they go in Europa League, I'm not too sure. But I think Soufal is being overlooked. Thoughts on 6 mil defenders? Who's the best? I wouldn't really be spending... I know who you're going for here. It's either Cancelo, Diaz, or Chua who you're thinking of. But personally, I wouldn't go for either of them. I'd either go up to Alexander-Arnold or down to Shaw or Dean at 5.5. Tony or Valencia. Tony, mate. Tony or Antonio, is that what you're saying? I was trying to must-have if Simicast is in. Yeah, I think Trent is still compulsory. I don't think it makes Trent any less compulsory. Do you have any prizes for your private league winners?
We can make a prize. Let's do. Okay, we're dealing in pounds here because half our viewers are English. If we do, let's go £15 for our winner of our mini league.
Shit, that's for whatever week.
Yeah, okay, we'll give you a shout. We'll give the daily winner of our cup, or whoever comes first each week, we'll give a shout. We'll put their team name or Twitter handle on our YouTube vids, and the person who wins overall will send them £15. But I don't know how that will work. I don't know how we'll get in contact with the winner unless the winner gets in contact with us and sends us proof. But that's probably what will happen.
I'm a Spurs fan. Tanganga is probably a higher chance to start than Doherty. Yeah, Doherty hasn't got that many minutes in pre-season, but I guess Tanganga will be the backup if Doherty doesn't start, so potentially. But I wouldn't be going for Tanganga anyway against City first week, right? But that's good to know, mate. Thank you for the inside knowledge. So basically, you can use Dean Smith as a source of fantasy information. Exactly right, mate. Dean Source is our source of Aston Villa. Dean Smith is the source of fantasy information for Villa. Bruno, haven't gone for Bruno. We've gone Mane instead of Bruno. That's the punt we're taking. It's to get to the sort of differential aspect of our team to other teams. I think they'll score similar points. I'm hoping Mane can score slightly more. It obviously is very risky, but you know what? Why not? Let's go for it. Listen to this bench. Michael Benrahma, Tierney Simicas. I'm assuming you're bench boosting, yeah? Oh, that's right, you said you're bench boosting. Yeah, that's a good bench for a bench boost. It's not a bad bench to bench boost. Mane to Bruno. I actually gone Bruno to Mane. I've had Mane in my team for a while. I've looked at some underlying stats. Similar XGs last year, and Bruno will be 100% getting less penalties this year. Half of his goals last year were pens, and I think this year will be less pens. And I think short term Mane's got better fixtures than him. What about Son? Yeah, I'm planning on moving on Mahrez to Son. I've obviously got 0 in the bank. I'm going to have to work around a couple of transfers there. Maybe like a Danny Ings out after the first 3 weeks. Downgrade him. Free up some money there. Then go Mahrez up to Son. I think Son's a great shout. St. Maximin, is he starting? Let's have a look. St. Maximin's starting. I think he should be. Actually, I'm not too sure. I was thinking about it now. I think he will start, unless he's... Has anyone got any information on whether he's not into full fitness? If he's full fitness, then he's got to start, right? Son or Mahrez? I'm going Mahrez for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then going Son for the rest after. So that's why Mahrez is in my starting team, but I think they're both nice pick. Greenwood or Barnes? I think Harvey Barnes, because in the Manchester United interview, they said, or Ole said that Sancho was going to be getting minutes in that game, which means he'll take them off Greenwood, whether Greenwood comes off the bench or starts. Can you rate my team if I DM you through Twitter? Yeah, sure, mate. Son and Benrahma or Mahrez and Greenwood? Oh, that's a tough choice. That is a very tough choice. Maybe Son Benrahma. Salah out for Mane. No, 100% be keeping Salah in. 100% keep Salah in. I think Salah's the compulsory one, and then Fernandes is the one you can think about whether you want to go for Mane or not, in my opinion. Sanchez, Trent, Simicas, Shaw, Cresswell, Salah, Bruno, Mahrez, Rafinha, forwards, DSL Inks. That's a nice team. That's a very nice team, mate. I like it. If you wanted to, you could go Cresswell down to Sufal, because I think they'll have similar points. But if you're back in Cresswell, fair enough. What about Havertz? I think he's going to be playing further on the wing since Hakim Ziyech's injury, so I don't think he's going to be getting as many points as I originally thought he was if he was playing more central. And he's only going to be a good option for 1 week before you have to rotate him out because Chelsea have some nasty fixtures. So since Havertz will be pushed out wide, Werner will be playing that central role. I think Mount will be playing behind him in the cam role. Do you have a reason why you go for Wolves? Yeah, so our grandpa grew up in Wolverhampton and he moved to Melbourne, can't remember, 25 years ago. And yeah, so he's a big Wolves fan, so we're Wolves fans, that's why. Thoughts on Dean? I think he's a great shout. My team is the most template team ever, yeah. I think a lot of people are going for this same team to start the year because the way FPL have set their prices up, they've kind of pushed everyone into going for this one specific team. That's why I've gone for Mane over Fernandes, because otherwise I'd be going for a team that everyone else is going for, but I want to have something slightly different. Who's your captain and vice, mate? Yeah, so I'll just go into how the team lines up. We'll get it here. So it's going to be Salah on vice, Salah on captain, Antonio on vice captain. I don't want to go captain and vice captain from the same game because we all know how that happened last year. Some games got postponed, but Antonio vice captain. It's going to be Salah that plays anyway, so he's going to be captain. Buendia to start. Yeah, Buendia will be starting despite his slight injury. He will be starting. Yes, that Maximin is fit. Awesome, mate. Yeah, so I think... Yes, there's not going to be any reason for him not to start unless Joe Linton starts over St. Maximin, which I think would be an absolute joke if Joe Linton starts over St. Maximin. Son and Mahrez, they're both great choices. I'm going with Mahrez and then switching to Son because Mahrez has got that fixture against Norwich in Game Week 2, which is juicy. I think Man City are gonna destroy Norwich, to be honest. It's going to be like a 5-0 game, and I think I'll be hiding behind the couch if I don't have a Man City attacker for that game. Mahrez, Grealish, or Sterling. I think Mahrez is the best option in terms of confirmed minutes. No one's really competing for a spot at the minute, so I think Mahrez. Should I go for Soufal or Target? I'd go. It's a tough choice. I think probably Soufal because he's a better longer term option, but I think Target will have more points than him in the first 3 weeks. Do you have any new video series coming to the channel? Notice the predicted points vid. Yeah, so we will be doing predicted points videos every week. We're going to be doing team selections, buy, hold, sell, knee-jerk reaction, predicted points, the highest predicted points players for the upcoming game week. So players that you guys should have at least a couple of them in your squad for the upcoming week. Some transfer traps, so players, a lot of managers are transferring in, which is especially applicable for the start of the season where people kind of just go with the crowd like after one performance. So we're going to be going through players that maybe should hold off on transferring in. So there's definitely going to be plenty of content coming into the start of the season, let's just say that. I've got Cancelo and I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think it's worth the headache, mate, to be honest. I think maybe steer clear of that City defence. Maybe if you're going to go for a City defender, then go for Diaz. But yeah, I'm not really too sure if they're going to start. Nice choice, mate. I might go Salah and Shaw vice captain. Yeah, literally, as long as you got Salah captain, you could I could chuck vice captain on Sanchez and I wouldn't be worried. Should I go for Vardy? It's not a bad shout. I think he's being overlooked by a lot of managers and he does do very well in that one striker formation, which I think Leicester will be going for. So I think he could be a nice differential option. I'm assuming that will be in place of either Fernandes, Salah, or maybe even Son, depending on how you're setting up. But not a bad choice. I've got 6.5 mil to get a mid, but I really like the look of Smith Rowe. Opinions. I go for a 6.5 mid instead of Smith Rowe, to be honest. I think Smith Rowe offers okay attacking potential, but there is going to be better options at 6.5. You could go for Benrahma at 6, Harrison at 6, Sarr at 6, Buendia or Rafinha at 6.5. I think all those players will be getting more points than Smith Rowe. Martinez and Dunk or Sanchez and Cash. I think. Oh, that's a fair point. I think I'll go Sanchez and Target instead of Cash. I'll go Sanchez and Target. Is what I do. How old are you guys? I'm 18 and my brother is 16. You're not worried about Barnes never getting 90 minutes, 70 minutes at most in most games with the NFL data. Come on. Yep. But Barnes has been hot in pre-season. He's been on fire, and he will get more than 70 minutes in every game. He won't be going off in the 70th mark every game. Do you guys have an Instagram account? Yeah, FPL Flair on Instagram. We do have an Instagram account as well. We have a Twitter account and an Instagram account if you guys want to check that out.
All links in the description. Also, to check out our current draft, I think we've got everything. We've sort of changed our description for this year. We have our Twitter, Instagram, and our FPL Flair team URL in the description as well. And auto join link, membership link, Fantasy Football Fix premium link, but no one really cares about that right now, so it's fine.
Vardy's too expensive. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that, which is fair enough. As a Wolves fan, why you don't have Jimenez in your team? Jimenez, game week 4. Trust me, game week 4, Jimenez is going straight in. Souček or Benrahma? 100% Benrahma, mate. Go for Benrahma. I think Souček is going to be playing CDM. Benrahma will be playing Cam. Benrahma's been looking incredible in pre-season. Chuck in Benrahma. Rafinha or Buendia? I think Barnes, yeah. If you got 0.5, then go for Barnes, because I think Barnes will score more than Rafinha and Buendia. Notice Benrahma has been playing games in pre-season. Where is Lingard? Where Lingard was playing last season? Yeah, I think Benrahma's going to be a nice choice. Backman, Trent, Simicast, White, Shaw, Salah, Bruno, Son, Rafinha, Ings, DCL. Yep. Superb team, Dominic. I like that. All the best for this season. Thank you so much, FPL Penguin. Best luck to you two as well. Hope you have a cracking game at 1, mate. Hopefully it goes well. Vardy scores on every Leicester opener. Yeah, he's a bit of a... He goes off at the start of the season, Jamie Vardy. He doesn't mind a couple of goals at the start of the season. Do you think DCL's going to start? Yes, DCL will start. Everton just did their press conference before. DCL and Richarlison are going to start. So if you like the look of DCL, then go for him, because he will be playing. Manu attacker. Yeah, so back to that, right? Obviously, I feel like I'm missing out with no Manu attacker. But I want to go for Barnes instead of Greenwood because I think Sancho's going to take minutes off Greenwood. And I want to go for Mane instead of Fernandes because I want to go for a differential option instead of just going for the template team like everyone else. So that just simply leaves me with no United attacker. And Cavani's not going to play. I don't really like Martial. because he wastes too many chances. Yeah. But obviously, I'm not like Man United attacker would be nice, right? Should I change to Son instead of Mahrez? I mean, I personally going for Mahrez and then changing to Son in game week 3. I think you got to have in Mahrez for game week 2. I think if you're tossing it between Son and Mahrez. Thoughts on Martinelli after yeah, I think Martinelli may actually get a start potentially. Vardy, Wilson, Tony, penalty takers all the way. Yeah, penalty takers are very essential, especially for forward options. If you go for any player in attack, I prefer most of them to be on penalties. If you're looking at my attack here, Antonio will be on penalties. Ings will be on penalties when Algazi's not on the pitch. Salah will be on pens. And I think Mahrez potentially will be on pens as well. Why not? Do you personally have any opinions on Romero? Ben White. Yeah, go for Ben White instead of Romero. Romero won't be playing for game week 1, obviously. But Romero's a good defender, but is he a good FPL option? I don't know. Is Kante injured and won't play? I'm not sure. Can anyone tell me if Kante's injured and won't play? If anyone's got information on N'Golo Kante, just pop it in the chat. Looks like he might be, yeah. Why should he? I'm not sure. If anyone's got information on N'Golo Kante, let me know. Smith Rowe or Martinelli? Probably Smith Rowe. Twenzebi to start over Mings or Konsa? Twenzebi won't start. It'll be 100% Mings and Konsa. Lacazette, he's not playing, mate. He's out. Should I go for rotating goalkeepers like Sanchez and Backhand? Just go a 4.5 and a 4. I think it's the best strat for goalkeepers. You should make an FPL podcast. Well, this is basically like one. Yeah, exactly, mate. So we could make an FPL podcast, but live streaming, it's fun and it's good to interact live with the chat as well.
If you've heard of a bloke called FPL Dude, he's on YouTube and Twitter. We're doing a podcast with him very soon, in fact. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully FPL Mate cops us a feature on his podcast. So it'll be a great way to start things off as well.
He is injured. So is Martial. Yeah, I know Cavani's injured. Is Martial injured as well? I thought Martial was good to play. Also, love the chill vibes on the stream. Yeah, stream's good. It's chill, it's relaxing. Talk to the chat. It's nice. It's good fun. I hate Chelsea for winning the Champions League. I'm surprised they won the Champions League. To say, if you told me Chelsea were going to win the Champions League at the start of the season, I would have laughed. But to be fair, they beat some decent teams in the Champions League, and they obviously played a lot better in the Champions League than they did in the league. DCL or Richarlison? I was thinking about that to myself, right? If I'm going to switch a striker to either DCL or Richarlison, who would I go for? Obviously, Richarlison is $500,000 cheaper. And I touched on this before, but I think Richarlison suits Benitez's management style better than DCL. So I think he actually could sort of match DCL for similar points over the first 6 weeks. So potentially Richarlison could be better value, but I think DCL's more of a proven asset. Any decent 4.5 defenders? Yeah, absolutely. So you got Veltman there, which I've got. You got Ben White at 4.5. You got Luke Ayling at 4.5. I think those three are the best 4.5 defenders in my opinion. He means Kante and Martial. Right, okay, yeah. So Kante is out. Is that right? Kante's out. Tsimikas and Mahrez or Bertrand and Jota. I'll go Tsimikas and Mahrez, mate, I reckon. Any 4 million defenders? Yeah, so Tsimikas will play for Liverpool. He'll play for the first 2 or 3 weeks. And Amati will be playing for the first week for Leicester. Kante has a quote on a few issues according to what's apparently is doubtful, I think. Right, okay, that's good information, mate. Cheers. Thank you for that once again. Apart from Marty, yeah, probably Tsimikas for Liverpool, and that's about it. This is literally it. Maybe Omar Dele from Norwich. He might get a start actually on Omar Dele. He'll probably start. He's probably the most likely 4 mil defender to start. Cresswell, is he starting? Yep, Cresswell's starting. No worries about him. Cresswell will be starting. I do think Soufal's better value at $500,000 less though, but they both will be starting. Sanchez, Trent Shaw, Tsimikas, Son, Bruno, Salah. Benrahma, Rafinha, Tony. That's a class team, yeah. I like that team a lot. It's a good midfield. Son, Bruno, and Salah. You gone 5 midfield, yeah, it's nice. I like it. Greenwood or Jota? I think Greenwood, because I think Greenwood's got a more likely chance of starting than Jota. I don't think Jota's going to start. Personally, I think a lot of people are saying that he may potentially start, but me personally, Jota may start, to be fair. He may start in striker. So if Jota, I think maybe Jota then. If Jota's going to start in striker instead of Firmino, then go for Jota. What about Iheanacho? I don't think Iheanacho is going to start because Leicester did run one striker in pre-season, and I think that's how they're going to continue into the Premier League season. Run like a sort of a 4. I'm not sure how they're going to order the midfield, but it's going to be one striker more than likely, and I think it's just going to be Vardy. It's going to be like a 4-2-3-1, I think. A 4-2-3-1 is most likely how they're going to set up. So probably not Iheanacho because I don't think he's going to start. Start Mahrez and change the going through. Yeah, that's my plan. I like that plan. If you're going for that as well, I like it. I think that's what I'm going to do. Do you think Havertz will do well points wise? I was backing in Havertz, but he's going to be pushed out wide now with Ziyech's injury, so I don't think he's going to get as many points. He's obviously improved a lot this season, but with Lukaku coming in, I think they may potentially run 2 strikers as well, which will decrease Havertz's points maybe slightly more. So I'm not too sure about Havertz, especially with their fixtures at the start of the year. Will Grealish start? No, he will not start for the first week. I think he's going to get eased into the team. He may make a couple of substitution appearances in game week 2, 3. It'll take him a while for Guardiola to get him fit into that Man City system, so potentially not. What about Bruno Fernandes? Yeah, he is the one that is left out of my team for Sadio Mane. I've gone with Sadio Mane instead of Fernandes because I think maybe in the short term Liverpool have better fixtures than United, and Mane could potentially get more points than Fernandes in the first 4 to 6 weeks. And I think everyone's kind of going for the same team with just Salah, Fernandes, Shaw, Trent, blah, blah, the rest. That's why I want to mix it up a little bit. Go for Mane. I do think Mane can match Fernandes for points in the first 6 weeks. And he's very low owned, Sadio Mane. He's only got a 4.5% ownership, which I think is a steal. So yeah, I'm liking Mane. Wilson and Rafinha or Tony and Benrahma. That's a tough choice. I think Wilson and Rafinha, personally. Have you locked in yet? I think this is probably about as locked in as it's going to get. Obviously, on stream, I've gone Ben White out and Veltman in. And I think that gives me better flexibility for the first 3 weeks in terms of being able to start 4 defenders every week. Everton at home is not necessarily a bad fixture. I've just taken out Trent. That's a big call. That's a huge call. I really like Trent, but I think it's a huge call taking him out. When do you think it's best to start using Chelsea players? Game week 6 or game week 7? Let's have a look. Let's go on the FTR here. Who have Chelsea got game week 6? They got City at home, so probably game week 7 to be honest. I think game week 7 is probably the nicest option. Souček, I would not be going for Souček. He got a lot of points from headers last year, and that's not a sustainable form of points. If you're going to go for that £6 million midfielder for West Ham, go for Benrahma. Go for Benrahma. I have Bruno, Salah, Son, Jota, Saka in the midfield. Thoughts? That's a class midfield. It's a heavy midfield. I like it. Tsimikas, I think he's a great choice. I couldn't go for him in my team because I've gone with Mane as my 3rd Liverpool slot, so I don't have enough Liverpool spaces to get Tsimikas, but I do think he's a good option. Okay, it's a big risk to put Son in this week because Mahrez might get a better shot because if he starts Man City, have never won or scored at Tottenham's first stadium. Man City is Man City. Correct, yeah. Man City is Man City. I think that's just the argument for Man City players is that they play for Man City, right? Have you got £1 million in the bank? I've actually got 0 in the bank. I've got nothing in the bank. Greenwood or Havertz? Probably Greenwood. Thoughts on 8-0 for game week 4? I don't know about who's going to start in left back. I think it's going to be Marcel. Being a Wolves fan myself, I think I prefer Marcel starting in left back, and it looks they do switch it up quite a lot. It's a rotation very frequently, the Aitner and Marcel. So potentially not a bad choice, but to play it safer, Cody will play every single game for us. Do you think Pepe will get lots of points this season? Yeah, 100%. Pepe, I think, could get some nice points this season. He's getting overlooked by a couple of managers, so not a bad shout. Also, what do you think about playing new signs like Trincao? Yeah, I think Trincao is going to slot in very nicely to the Wolves system, to be honest. And he should be starting a couple of games for us this year. I don't know if he's going to be starting game week 1, whether Gibbs White's going to be playing or it's going to be Trincao on the wing. I'm not too sure, but I think Trincao he's been looking very nice in training. Why Antonio is better than Wilson? Because, well, I think Antonio's got better teammates providing for him. I think Antonio has slightly better fixtures than Wilson. And Antonio had slightly better XG per 90 stats than Wilson, I'm pretty sure. Will Shaw definitely play? Haven't played a lot in Euros. Yes, Shaw will definitely play. City defences in the team. I've not gone with any City defences. If I would only go for one player, and that's Diaz, but I'm not really too sold on him. Antonio or Wilson, they're both great picks. I'm going for Antonio, but taking nothing away from Wilson is a great choice. Mane over Bruno is kind of tempting. Yeah, I'm liking Mane over Bruno, to be honest. Just as a differential, if it doesn't work out, same price, right? So I'm going to transfer Mane to Bruno, and Mane has got better fixtures to start than Bruno, right? Dino Sofal, I go Sofal. I took Pepe over Barnes. Is it really good? I'll go, yeah. I mean, if you're back in Pepe, then it's not a bad shout, but I'm really, really liking Harvey Barnes this year. Is Son a risk as he is playing against City? Son, he can do well against any team if you're in Son, and he did actually especially well against good teams. He's not a risk. I'd still start Son 100% if you've got him against Man City, but I wouldn't necessarily risk. Who do you think is going to win the Premier League? I think I'm going to be boring and say Man City are going to win the Premier League. Their team is just their depth is ridiculous. Their bench is better than half the league, if not most, like 90% of the other teams are worse than their bench, which is outrageous. How are you planning to get Son? It's a great question. So I'm thinking. So we go Mahrez to Son. We could go Barnes down to someone. We could go Ings after game week 3 down to Jimenez. Barnes down to here we do this. Barnes down to Rafinha because Leeds have that nice fixture turn. Remember that's a key thing with Rafinha here. I think it's game week 5. Look at that. Game week 5 to 10 is nice. So I might bring in Rafinha for that. And then depending on how Jimenez goes, I really rate Jimenez as an option. 7.5 mil. That leaves me one in the bank. Mahrez to Son. And that's probably how we do it. If not, we could go for any other 7.54, such as like Callum Wilson, whoever. But yeah, literally just whoever's playing the best at 7.5. So that's probably the transfer plan that we do. I like that transfer plan. I think it's nice. Barnes or Maddison? I think Barnes because Maddison's had his free kicks taken away from him by Redmond, which is a bit harsh. But I think, yeah, he's going to be on less free kicks. Sorry, Bertrand, not Redmond. Bertrand. He's going to have less free kicks because of Bertrand. So yeah, go Barnes. Son, Salah, Bruno, Mason. I wouldn't go for Mason Mount to be honest, but I would go for Benrahma instead of Pepe. Sanchez, Shaw, Trent, Simicas, Bruno, Salah, Barnes, Benrahma, Sopton. Great team, mate. That's a nice team, Alex. A very good team. Grob is an option. I don't think he is. I think he's a bit overpriced. Yeah, his underlying stats aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be, but he's not. He doesn't compete with other 6-0 options. I don't think there's better options. I think Benrahma at 6 is nice. Yeah, and that brings me to the next one. Is Benrahma a good pick? 100%. I think he's a great pick. I think he's a great pick. You're not on the Tony Hype train. Well, I was on the Tony Hype train, and then I got off because I wanted to get in Mahrez and like sort of build up the midfield a bit more. And you never know with championship players going to the Prem, but I think Tony will be the best performing championship player this season. That's my call. Ings vs Bamford. I'm going for Ings because I like those first 3 fixtures very much. Worth transferring in Martinelli for 1 game week? No, don't go for it. Don't. If it's one for 1 game week, especially Martinelli's price, it's not a nice one to upgrade or downgrade. So maybe leave it out. Do I put in Ben White for tonight's game? I did have Ben White for tonight's game, but I've taken him out for Veltman. Arsenal, they've got an okay chance of a clean sheet. I think Brentford will score though, so that's why I've not got the Ben White. Mahrez or Son, not considering price. I've gone with Mahrez for the first 2 weeks, and then switching to Son for 3 and 4, and potentially onwards, because I like having a Man City player for the Norwich home fixture. Will Ait-Nouri start for Wolves? It'll be a toss-up between him and Marcel. It's for the first week. I think it looks like Ait-Nouri's going to start. When it comes around to game week 4, when I want to get in the Wolves players, it'll be tossing up between Marcel and Ait-Nouri. They seem to get fairly even minutes. So if I could go for a Wolves 4.5 defender, I'd go for Connor Cody. Do you reckon Gill either becomes a regular starter? Well, yeah, we'll have to see how he goes, right? So if he starts and he plays well, then of course he's going to be a good option, yeah. But I don't think he's going to start for a while. I think for his first couple of appearances, he'll be off the bench, and I think he will be starting instead of Bergwijn, you'd think. And we'll see how he goes, right? We'll see how he goes. Will Ashley Young start? No. Matt Targett will start instead of Ashley Young. Ashley Young's kind of the rotation option when there's fatigued players, but there will be very minimal fatigue for game week 1. All the teams are making sure their players are fresh, ready to go. So Ashley Young will not start. Grealish start or Gundo. Whilst Rafinha. I go for Sarr because I'm not sure about Gundogan's minutes. And Sarr has some decent projected points, and he did very well in the last time he was in the Premier League. Jota or Greenwood? I think Jota, because I think Jota's going to start in striker, which is awesome for him. That's very good value for him as a Liverpool striker. Whereas Greenwood, I'm not sure about him because Sancho looks like he's going to be taking minutes off Greenwood based on the Manchester United manager's press conference. Do I have Short, Sufal, Dean, and take out Trent to fit in 5 midfield Fernandes sidebars mode? I don't think you do. I think I'll go for Trent instead of Dean, and then maybe try and figure out a 4 or 5 midfield. Which Arsenal players to get versus Brentford? If I could have any Arsenal players, it'd probably be Ben White, and I don't really trust any Arsenal attackers at the moment. Maybe Pepe. Ben White and Pepe. If I could pick 2, not saying that I would necessarily go for Pepe, but if I could pick 2, it'd be Ben White and Pepe. Best FPL YouTuber. Cheers, mate. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support. No Benrahma, no party. Well, that's why I've got Antonio. I've got Antonio as my party man for that West Ham game. I think Benrahma could supply a couple of assists, maybe ping in a goal as well. But I think, if you're looking at the West Ham party, I think Antonio's got to be the man, right? Will Pepe play as a striker on the wing today? I think he'll play on the wing today, and I think they might bring in Martinelli to striker or try and change up the formation. But I think they'll prefer Pepe on the right wing, cutting on his left foot. That's his best position. Tony, a nice choice. I haven't gone with him because I wanted to go for Mahrez in midfield, and I had to make a couple of changes like that. But I think Tony's a very nice option. Barnes and Benrahma. Barnes or Benrahma and Rafinha, Greenwood. I would go for Barnes over Benrahma and Rafinha over Greenwood. No, wait, Tony's a nice choice. I don't think you can really go too early with Tony because he's got some nice fixtures. And yeah, I think if he's going to fire early, right? He's got his confidence high right now, and I think, yeah. According to Nuno, Romero has recovered from his injury, but him and Gill are apparently doubts due to lack of training sessions, but could start, but should be interesting to start the time. Yes, that's true, but yeah, I would say very low chance that Romero and Gill start. I think which does make Man City assets better options for that game, increasing my like for Mahrez. Will Sancho start for Manchester and come off the bench? Yeah, that's the thing, right? So Ole said that Sancho will be getting minutes, and then he was a bit cheeky at the end of his interview. He said whether it comes off the bench or whether he starts, not sure. I think he will come off the bench, if I'm being honest. I'm guessing 70th minute Sancho comes on for Greenwood. That's my substitution, I'm guessing. Kind of tempted to triple captain sell this week, right? What do you think? I remember there's my mate triple captain Salah first week last year where Salah got 20 points and he got 60 points from the triple captain, which is outrageous. But I don't think personally I'd save the triple captain for a double game week later on in the season. But if you're feeling a bit of Salah madness, then I guess you can go for it. But I would save it for a double game week. Is three at the back the best way to go? A lot of people are going for three at the back. I'm going for four at the back because I think five at the back is too much. Three at the back is nice, but I want to run two strikers, which automatically makes me run four at the back. Why no Ward-Prowse? He's just not a good option in my opinion. And he's also injured at the moment, so he's not going to be playing for Southampton. He gets a lot of his points from corners and free kicks where he's assisting Vestergaard, and Vestergaard is leaving now because Vestergaard wins headers. And Ward-Prowse plays more central midfield, doesn't get forward enough, and there's better options at his price, mate. Trust me with that. That Mane and Salah pick looks good, but if Bruno scores a hat-trick, you'll fall behind the pack already. Yes, I will be praying that Bruno does not get an attacking return, or just praying that Mane outscores Bruno, right? Greenwood or Gundogan? I think Greenwood, since Buendia might play, so should I get him over Benrahma? Or, if you've already got Antonio in your team, then go for Buendia. If you don't have Antonio, then go for Benrahma, I reckon. Will Stones start? I don't think he will, to be honest, because he hasn't really been featuring that much. He's kind of gone missing in pre-season. I think Ake, maybe. I do think Stones will start, to be honest. I think he should start. He's had a decent rest since the Euros, so I think it'll be Stones and Diaz combination. I have a mil to spend. What do I do? Sanchez, Simicast, Shaw, Sufal, Saka, Jordan, Mahrez, Fernandes, somewhat. For me, I want to spend that 1 mil. I would go for maybe a Saka upgrade to a 7.5 mid. Or try and work in Trent somehow, maybe.
Basuma backup option. Yeah, he's good cheap in the midfield. Probably won't get any goals or assists this season. I think he scored 1 goal last year, which we had him in a team for. Came off the bench, scored the absolute worldie of a volley from outside the box. That was absolutely crazy. But yeah. Will Cancelo start most matches for Manchester City? I would certainly hope so, but I mean, you will never know with what Pep does to his team. But based on his FPL points last season and some of his stats that he got, hopefully, yes. Maddison could definitely be a good option, but I think Harvey Barnes in the midfield slightly better. If Maddison does hit a patch of good form, though, which I do see happening, he could be a good option. DCL, yeah. DCL's definitely one to look at. Thinking about getting him in, may have to obviously make a few changes as well. But given that he's not injured, he should be a good option to have back in the team. Sufal Cresswell, would go for Sufal over Cresswell. But Nuno's been silent clear on what will happen. Looking at Gil, Romero and Kane could potentially start, but I highly doubt. Yeah, Nuno is quite the different manager. I know when he was ex-manager of Wolves, we definitely play quite defensive against some of the top teams in this counter. Whether he's going to carry that same style over the Tottenham will be a different thing as well. Are both Target and Sufal nailed on to start? I'm going to say yes. I don't see why they wouldn't. Target starts most matches anyway, so does Sufal. I think Sufal didn't actually not start. Same with Target, but yeah, I think he's a good option. He'll start.
Buendia or Rafinha? I think maybe Rafinha, because I'm assuming you will already have Danny Ings, so I go for that to avoid the double up on attack. Would you have Rafinha and Shaw or Griezmann and Veltman? I go for Rafinha and Shaw. Ings and Tony or Antonio and Tony? I would. Oh, that's a tough question. Jeez, maybe Antonio and Tony. Are both targeted? Yep, so 100%. Barnes, Gundogan, or Rafinha? I'm going with Barnes. I really like Barnes. He's had a great preseason. He's looking very dangerous for Leicester. Buendia or Rafinha? So that's come up a fair few times. I think Rafinha, probably. Congrats on 3K subs. Cheers, FPL Focal, mate. Thank you so much. Class channel, you got going on yourself as well. Yeah, that's awesome, mate. We hit it on stream as well, which is hype. It's one of the best ways to do it, I reckon, hit it on stream. Also, Ashley Young to start, or Tiger will be starting instead of Ashley Young, so yes, no worries about that. Who you think going to start as striker for Wolves before Jimenez comes back? Jimenez is back for the first week. He will be playing from game week 1, so he's fully fit, ready to go. I'm super hyped about that. I'm so happy as a Wolves fan that we've got Jimenez back in. I'm gassed. We missed him last season. I think our top scorer last season had 5 goals, and he got like 17 the season before, which is outrageous. We're literally, we need him for our goals. What awards do we get for coming first in your league? So it's £15 for first, right? But you get a shout out every week for if you come first in that game week. We get you a shout out. We put your team there. We'll give you a shout out on socials. Rafinha, Benrahma, or Buendia? I think probably Rafinha, then Benrahma, then Buendia. What awards do we get in coming? Yeah, so let's that. Greenwood, Wilson, or DCL and Buendia? Maybe Greenwood and Wilson, I think. Greenwood and Wilson. Vardy or Iheanacho? I don't think Iheanacho is going to start, so for that reason, Vardy. I think Leicester are going to run a one-striker formation, which will just be Vardy up top. Is there any way I can send you my team for you to recommend improvements? Yeah, you can just drop it in the chat or send us a DM on Twitter or whatever. Thoughts on Son? I think he's a great pick. I think not as many people are going from maybe as they should, and he's predicted a lot of points to start the season, so yeah, it's nice. Don't think Nuno's strats at Wolves will work at Spurs because our defence isn't as experienced after Toby left. And if we do get another centre-back, there would be young like Tommy Nosalish for a Romero, Toby duo. Yeah, I think Nuno... I think he's still going to play 4 defenders, though, for Spurs. So he's not going to fully... Not going to bring the full Wolves tactics of the 5 defenders. Which does still allow Spurs to use their best asset, in my opinion, which is their attack. Why isn't anyone talking about Sancho for game week 1? Because he might not start. He is going to get minutes, but he might not start. I think he's going to come off the bench most likely. How do you feel about Everton's chances this season under Rafa? Can't wait for the Merseyside derby and Anfield going to be lit. I think Everton are going to underperform once again this year. Yeah, I guess they're just kind of consistently underperforming, aren't they? Right? They've got a nice team, new manager. We'll see how they go, but I do think they'll finish. I'm going like an 8th or 9th for Everton. Simicast, Target, or White to start? Pick one. Simicast. Thoughts on Target? Nice choice. I really like him. A lot of people are overlooking him. 5 mil, great value. He could potentially start the season with a triple clean sheet, which would be mad. And he could get an assist in that as well, which could make him one of the top scoring defenders after the first 3 weeks. So maybe, yeah. Ian. Sanchez, Shaw, Simicast, Trent, Basuma. Barnes, Antonio. Nice, mate, except I would not be starting Basuma personally. But if you can work in a team somewhere there to get him out. Ailing or Veltman. I think if you haven't got Sanchez and goals and Veltman, I've gone with Sanchez and Veltman because I think Brighton will get more clean sheets. So maybe Veltman. Why don't you have Simicast? Good question. So we've gone with Trent, Mane and Salah as our 3 Liverpool players. Obviously you can only have 3 players from the same team. And Mane, I really want him instead of Fernandes, so that's why we've gone with him. And he's taken the 3rd Liverpool slot, so we can't go with Simicast. And I don't want to bring in Simicast for Trent. Mason Mount, I don't think will be a good option. I don't think he's going to be great. Put Bruno instead of Mane. Yeah, I'll just touch on that. I think Mane will be better in the short term at least. Sufa and Amati or Veltman and Ailing. That's such a difficult question. I was actually discussing. Well, I was thinking that myself. Maybe Sufal and Amati because I don't know what other defenders you have, right? But I think Sufal will be a very nice option this year. Salah, Son, Bruno midfield. That's a class midfield. I like that midfield. I think that's a combination that a couple of people are going for, but I think could prove to be very good. Cresswell and Antonio or Dean and DCL. I would go for Dean and Antonio. I'd mix the two, yeah. Opinions on what happened to Sterling. I think his minutes are going to decrease this year from last year because Grealish is going to take some of his minutes off him. Benrahma or Rafinha. Probably Rafinha. I'm assuming you already have Antonio, but Benrahma is a great choice. £500,000 less. They could score a fairly similar amount of points. It's kind of hard to tell who's going to be better. But if you already have a West Ham attacker, then go for Rafinha. Should I get Sancho already? No. I just wait off because I think he's going to get subbed on for 20 minutes in the first match. Dallas over Basuma. Definitely go for Basuma, but bench Basuma. I definitely wouldn't be starting Dallas. Sufal over Target. I think so. I think Sufal's a better long-term option. I think you're just going to be getting rid of Target after the first 3 weeks. To start, I wouldn't start. I definitely wouldn't get Dallas, and I wouldn't start Basuma either. If you could make another transfer to free up an extra mil, and then go Basuma to a 6.5 midfielder, I think that would be better strat. Worth having Spurs defender after game week 1, considering Nuno might turn the ship after. Yeah, potentially. That's not a bad shout because Spurs will play still defensive. They play defensive with Jose Mourinho. And with Romero, that will tighten up their clean sheets, yeah. Cash or Target, I think Target. Would you be going for a better and expensive goalkeeper? No, I would not go for an expensive goalkeeper because the gap between the top scoring goalkeepers and the middle scoring goalkeepers is a lot less than the gap between the, for example, top scoring defenders and middle scoring defenders, or top scoring mids and middle scoring mids. So, and in general, keepers will score less points than other positions. So I think it's better to spend less on keepers and more on outfield players. Ombarmadeli, I think he will start. Yeah, if you're looking for a starting £4 million defender that will start in the long term, then maybe Ombarmadeli is the guy. El Ghazi is a good addition. Yes, I think he will be getting some nice starting minutes to start the year, and he will be taking penalties when he's on the pitch as well, so that makes him a nice tempting option. But once again, a short-term choice of 3 weeks could be worth a pump. Start Sufal or Rafinha, mate. I think if you could start one, I'd probably start Rafinha, but I think that it's a difficult decision. Very difficult decision. Still Shaw, Button, Paritza, 352. Sanchez, Shaw, Simicas, Dean, Celebrino, Barnes, Mars, Rafinha, Wilson. That's a great team, mate. I really like that team. It's a very strong bench as well. You got Shaw on the bench. Yeah, that's a very nice team. Play Rafinha or Tony. Probably Tony. Oh, jeez. That's a tough choice. Probably Tony. Grealish swap for me. If you could, I would try and keep Rafinha and Tony on the pitch. Grealish swap for Greenwood. Yeah, I'll go for Greenwood over Grealish. Sanchez, Trent Shaw, Simicas, Salah, Barnes, Rafinha, Greenwood. Antonio. Great team. Werner. You're saying Werner as a joke, right? But Werner in game week 2 with Lukaku next to him. I was watching what was the show called? I was watching the show with Ian Wright on it today, and they were discussing Lukaku and what would happen to Werner. And I think Werner will get more goals with Lukaku in the team. What do you think about Dunk? Yeah, I think he is getting passed up by people, but if I could go for a Brighton defender, I'd go for a 4.5 defender, such as Veltman. Dunk, for the extra 0.5, will probably score the same points as him, to be honest. You're going without Trent. Yeah, that's risky, mate, but if you back yourself in, that's fine. Is Havertz a good option for game week 1? He was a good option. I think he's slightly less of a good option now. Because he's going to be playing out wide, and Werner and Mount will be playing central because Ziyech got injured in the Super Cup final, so I don't think he's going to be as good as an option for game week 1. Greenwood or Mahrez? I'm going with Mahrez, so I'm going to have to say Mahrez, right? Richarlison, not a bad choice. Not a bad choice. I think he could be good. Is Gabriel fit to start today for Arsenal? It looks like it's going to be Pablo Mari as their centre back. So Gabriel. Mahrez v Grealish. I think Mahrez is more nailed. I think he's probably the most nailed Man City attacker at the moment. I think I'll go for Mahrez, yeah. Son over Bruno. Tough call, but I think I prefer Bruno. Greenwood or Mahrez? Yeah, Mahrez. My team's going to score the highest, yeah. We'll see how it goes. Alright, mate, I gotta go. Thank you so much for the tips and corrects and to subs. Thank you so much, mate. Thanks for tuning into the stream. And yeah, best of luck for the season, lad. And yeah, I'll see you a bit later. Do I go 3-5-2 with Rafinha or 3-4-3 with Tony? I think 3-4-3 with Tony. Tony or Wilson? I think Wilson. Can you please look at my team? Yeah, of course, mate. Just drop it in the chat and I'll give you a comment. Alpha, thank you, mate. Yeah, all good. No worries. Thoughts on Souček? I would not go for Souček. He is playing CDM. He's not going to be playing very attacking. There's better 6 mil options for West Ham, and he just got lots of header goals last year, which is not sustainable. So I definitely think people will be going for Souček. So see his tally of points last year, but he won't be a good option this year. Soufal versus Ailing. I think Soufal, Mount or Salah. 100% Salah. I don't rate Mason Mount as an FPL option. I rate him as a player, but I don't rate him as an FPL option. What is the best formation? I think 3-4-3 is a very good formation. I also think 4-4-2 is a good formation. I think those are probably my 2 favourite formations. You could go for 3-5-2. That is very popular this year because there seems to be a lot of nice midfield options. Alexander Arnold, Shaw, Tsimikas, Mahrez, Ghazi, Salah, Fernandez, Benrahma, Antonio. Thoughts on starting team? That's a class starting team. I like the differential option in El Ghazi. I think that offers something a bit different to everyone else's team, and I rate the teammates class. Song could be a good shout. Like every game Spurs have played, Man City have always scored, even if we lose. Tonight's on Jota. Yeah, I think Jota. Thoughts on Jota? Jota will start for Liverpool, and I think if he does start in striker, then that just makes him great value. To be honest, I think he could be a very nice option. But yeah, that's the thing, right? He's going to get subbed off early, and I don't know whether him or Firmino will start. How do you change his team? Salah, Tsimikas, Trent, Shaw, Barnes, Greenwood, Salah, Bruno, Tony. I wouldn't change him. I think that's a great team. I think that's exactly what you need for game week 1. Alright, the team is a nice formation as well. Is Pepe a good differential for your team? Yeah, I think he could be a good differential for the team. I think he's the same price as Barnes, yeah, coming at 7 mil. So I think it could be a nice choice. And I guess it gives you a reason to watch the first game of the season as well, right? So I think that's why a lot of people are kind of just bringing in Arsenal players, yeah. But Pepe is a nice shout. Will Barnes definitely start? I do think he will definitely start. Yeah, there was a couple of doubts about him. Personally, I think he will start. Put this bench in order: Rafinha, Veltman, Obafemi. I just leave it as that, mate. Yeah, Rafinha, Veltman, Obafemi. Could Ashley Young be another Dallas? No, because I don't think Ashley Young is going to play. I think he's going to be on the bench. So it's getting pretty hard to recreate Dallas's performances from the bench, to be honest. But yeah, I think Matt Target will start instead of Ashley Young. Jota versus Greenwood. I think Jota or Tsimikas. I think Jota, because Tsimikas will be good for 3 weeks. Jota will be good for 38 weeks. Amati won't play. Yes, that is true. And I don't know who to go for my 4 mil defender. I guess, do we just go for Omar Dele, right? Because I think he's going to start. I think, if you like to have any other 4 mil defenders that you think are going to start, I think Omar Dele is the most likely 4 mil defender to start. Dallas or Jack Harrison? Jack Harrison, 100%, yeah. Dallas was a defender last year, so he got around 50 extra points just from getting clean sheets. But this year he's been obviously changed in position to midfielder, so he's going to be getting a lot less points this year. Buendia and Amati or Dean and Basuma? Dean and Basuma. Do you reckon later in the season we should try to go for Robertson? Maybe, yeah. If he's playing well, you could go for the double Liverpool defence of Trent Robbo. I had definitely had that for a couple of stages in last season's campaign. Towards the end of the season, I did go for the Trent Robbo combo when Liverpool were on fire with their defensive clean sheets and everything like that. This sounds obvious, but would you get Diaz instead of Veltman? It may sound obvious, but I wouldn't get Diaz instead of Veltman. I think Veltman allows you to spend money elsewhere, which is more worthwhile than going for Diaz. Jota or Barnes? Well, I'm going for Barnes. I think Barnes potentially will be better because Jota may not start every game. Harrison, thoughts on Adam Armstrong? Yeah, he's a very interesting player, right? And I think he will be starting the first week for Southampton. He's been one that I think is great value at 6 mil up. He took more shots than Ivan Toney last year. He's $500,000 less, and he's playing in a better team. Which all those things are pointing towards, well, why aren't we getting Armstrong instead of Toney, right? Well, Toney obviously scored more goals, but I think Armstrong at 6 mil, once Southampton have that nice little fixture swing, I'm not sure when that is, but I know they have a difficult start. They face Man City. Well, it's got to come here, right? Leeds at home, Burnley, Watford, Villa, Norwich, right? That could be the time that you go for Armstrong. If he plays well, because I think he could be a nice choice. Will Amati start? He will be starting for game week 1, but then Vestergaard has just been signed, I've heard. So Vestergaard will start for game week 2. So that's why I've gone with Omar Dele, because I think he'll start for multiple games. Isn't Brew? No, risky. It is risky. It is very risky, but I do like Sadio Mane. I think he can outscore Bruno in the first 6 weeks, and that's why I've gone for him. And then after that, I might switch to Bruno. But for the short term at least, I'm liking Sadio Mane. He had a great pre-season. He's got some great fixtures. He's a streaky player that's in good form. So yeah, is it better to keep Omar Dele and have 0.5 or just go for White? Probably just go for White. How do you think Van Dijk will perform? Individual, I think he'll perform decent. Yeah, he's a class defender. He hasn't really been getting too many minutes in the legs. So it may take him a couple of games to kind of go back to his usual self. But he's definitely going to improve Liverpool's defence so much. And his form is temporary, class is permanent, right? So I think that's just going to come through. Dallas and Rafinha or Harrison and Benrahma? I would go for Rafinha and Benrahma. Personally, I wouldn't go for those two combinations. I'd go Rafinha and Benrahma, mix it up. Even if you don't have the money, then Harrison Benrahma, right? Best 4-mil defender besides Omar Dele, probably Tsimikas. Well, yeah, Tsimikas would be the number 1, then Amate, then Omar Dele. Is Armstrong risky for game week 1? Slight risk, but I think he'll start. Slight risk. Depends whether they play. I'll have a look at the predicted lineup on Fix. I think currently they're not predicting Armstrong to start. They're predicting him to be on the bench. They've got Redmond in striker. So I'm not too sure. He could potentially start, because Ward-Prowse is currently on an injury. So yeah, he actually may start. There is an element of risk though for game week 1. Maybe have a look at him, see how he goes, and then go from after that. Thoughts on Havertz? I did originally have him in, then I took him out because Ziyech got injured, which means Havertz will be playing further out wide and more shallow, which I think means he'll get less assists, and he's only good for 1 week anyway, right? Because you're going to have to transfer him out after that because Chelsea's fixtures aren't great. Should I get Trent over Veltman when I already have Tsimikas for now? Yeah, I think Trent's essential, whether you have Tsimikas or not. I think you have Trent, and then you can go for Tsimikas or Veltman based on that. Is Toney worth it against Arsenal? Yeah, I think so. I think he is. He's very confident. He's a very confident player, and Arsenal did. So I guess Arsenal have had a couple of outs as well, right? Cresswell or Sofal? I think Sofal. He's cheaper, and I think will prove to be better value. Thoughts on starting Jota, Greenwood, Fernandes, and Brahma? Yeah, great midfield. Love that midfield. Very, very strong. Wouldn't go against it. What about Joe Willock? Will he start? He was. I'm not sure if he's going to start for game week 1. There's a couple of fitness issues and him just kind of moving to Newcastle and everything. I don't know if he's going to start for game week 1. No, I don't think he will start for game week 1. But he will start when he's fit, but not for game week 1. Myers and Tony, or Greenwood and Wilson. That's a very difficult decision. Very difficult decision. Oh gee. Well, I'll go Myers and Tony, I think. Yeah, maybe just Myers and Tony. Thoughts on Havertz? Yeah, I touched on Havertz before. I don't think Havertz is a good option anymore. He was, but for 1 week, you're going to have to transfer him out after that. I don't think so. Thoughts on Fernandes? I think Fernandes is a great shout. I've gone with Mane instead of Fernandes, but nothing taken away from Fernandes. He is a great player. Sancho or Bruno? I think if you're going to go for a United attacker, you got to do it properly and you got to go for Bruno. My opinion? Change Veltman for Ailing. I'll tell you why I've gone for Veltman, right? First 3 weeks, I have to get a defender that's going to be able to start for me for the first 3 weeks, and I can't see a better team in terms of the first 3 weeks fixtures that I would confidently start that has a 4.5 mil defender than Brighton. That's why I've gone for him. Leeds, they're not going to get a clean sheet against United, and I need to start that 4.5 defender. So I'm going to be going. We'll just confirm Omobamidele in. That's the latest update to the team. Omobamidele is in for Amate. We'll go Brownhill first bench, right? I need to have, because none of these players on my bench I have confidence in starting, right? This fourth defender here, where Veltman is, has to play for the first 3 weeks before I can make some changes. And I think for a starting defender, first 3 weeks, Brighton's defence is nice. 1:22 AM Australia. Yeah, we're on the grind. A bit of a, the sleep schedule during Prem season. It's not even, the season hasn't even started yet, and the sleep schedule's gone out the window. But yeah, when it's deadline day, you stay out to whatever time, right? I'm feeling fine, mate. I'm feeling fresh. Surprisingly fresh for 1:30 AM in the morning. But yeah, Cresswell or Dean? I think Dean. Jota or Ings? I think Danny Ings. Are you going to watch the match since it will be like 5? Yes, it is. It's exactly 5 AM. The game is at 5 AM in Australia, and yes, we will watch the game, even though we have no players in the game, and it's very early, and we're going to have to get up for it's going to be a 1 hour sleep, and then we're going to get up again. It's the grind, and then it's back on again. I think Australia's time is 9:30 PM is the first game tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Oh, I think it's Saturday UK time, right? Is 9:30 PM Australian time is like 12:30 UK time. So it starts like 9:30, then goes 11, then 12, and then I think Liverpool are playing at 2:30 AM our time. So we're going to be watching that game until like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and go to bed at 5 AM. So The sleep schedule's already out the window. And then the Man City Spurs game is at 1:30 a.m. in the morning as well. I think you should have Fernandes. Yeah, well, I can see why people want to go for Fernandes, and honestly, he's a good pick, but I like the differential in Sadio Mane, and that's why I'm going for him. Cresswell or Dean? Dean. I think Dean will be better. Dean or Stones? I think Dean again. What do you think about a 1 week punt on Martinelli? I would not go for it personally. I think it's best to just leave it. Let it go. Too much hype over Martinelli. I think a bit unnecessary. Just let it go. Don't go for him. Thoughts on Medea? Yeah, I think he's a good choice. I think he's 100% going to be starting on the weekend. So if you're worried about whether he's going to start or not, don't be. I think he's 100% going to start, and I rate him. He had a nice preseason, so yeah, it should be good. It's just whether or not Villa run the one striker formation or go 4-4-2. I don't think they're going to go 4-4-2. I think they go 4-3-3, in which it suits Buendia a lot more. Team: Sanchez, Soufal, Shaw, Alexander-Arnold. Nice, I like that defence. Good start. Salah, Greenwood, Fernandes, Benrahma, Jota. Very nice midfield. Ings, Antonio, nice. Foster, Omar, Amate, Scarlett. Suggestion: any changes? I wouldn't make any changes. I like the team. I think that's just about as good as it gets. It's a great team, mate. Can't fault it. We'll have it starting game week 1. He will start, but I would not go for him because he's only really good for the first week before you have to transfer out your Chelsea players because their fixtures are not great after that. And he's playing more on the wing, so I don't think he's going to get as much time in the box, which is where you want him, obviously. Salah captain, Mane or Mahrez vice captain. I'll just go Mahrez vice captain because I don't like captaining and vice captaining players from the same game. As we saw last year, fixtures got postponed, so if that fixture gets postponed, then you get no captain or vice captain score. But not that that's not going to happen, right? But I'd rather just have it on a play from different games. So go Mahrez. Tony or Benrahma? I'll probably go Tony. DCL or Richarlison? Talked about this a lot, but I think Richarlison suits the play style of Benitez more. I think DCL is more of a proven FPL asset, so maybe DCL, but I think Richarlison will match him for points over the first 6 weeks. Rafinha or Son? I think Son will be better. What are you going to change for? What are you going to change for next week's fixtures? Right, so I'll have a look at the team for game week 2, right? In fact, this is probably going to be the team for game week 2. You're looking at game week 1 team and you're looking at game week 2 team, most likely right here. I think Trent will have Burnley, Shaw will have Southampton, Brighton have a nice fixture. Oh, jeez, that's zoomed in. Brighton have a nice fixture of Watford at home, which is a good one, and that's going to be for Veltman and Sanchez. West Ham have got a tricky one of Leicester at home. Marves has got Norwich at home, which is delicious. Who's Barnes got game week 2? He's got West Ham away, it's not too bad. Salah and Mane have got Burnley. Ings has got another nice match. Newcastle and Tony's got another nice match. Leicester, that's okay. But yeah. Are you ever going to do a face reveal? If you are, then when? Because bench. By the way, bench White or Simicast. I would bench White and start Simicast. We're thinking about doing a face reveal, whether it be this season or next season. We don't know how we're sort of going to incorporate that into videos because from a production standpoint, incorporating face cam in there is a lot of extra editing time and it's extremely difficult to sync up and stuff. And well, in your guys' opinion, right, would you rather see just graphic videos or face cam videos? In your opinion, I like the look of the graphic videos, but if you guys prefer face cam, then let us know because we can do that. Wilson and Greenwood or Wilson and Barnes? I think Wilson and Barnes. Should I go Mahrez and then change to Son in game week 3? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Mahrez and then change to Son in game week 3. I think you need to have Mahrez. If you're going to go for Mahrez, then you got to have him for game week 2. That's the reason you go for him, right? Who do you think is going to win Prem? I think City will win Prem. I think Chelsea with Lukaku signing could be nice. I think Liverpool with also Van Dijk back could be nice. United made elite signings. So I think top 4 is looking very strong this year, but I don't think City have the best depth in the league, so they'll win. It's pretty boring answer, I guess, but yeah. Expensive striker game week 1. Who would you go for? I'd go for Vardy, but I could go for any expensive striker. but he's probably going to get the most points for any striker in game week 1, I think. Like, maybe. For the premium striker options, he will. I think he'd be the better, longer term option. Shaw, Sufel, Trent, Amati, Salah, Mahrez, Mane, Barnes, Ings, Antonio. That's a risky team. Oh no, you got Salah in there. Yeah, I like that team. I really like the team. That's pretty much, it's legit our team. I swear it's our team. Just about. Apart from Basuma, White, and Amati. I think that's pretty much our starting team is the same, mate. So, yeah, what can I say? It's a nice team. Ben Rama or Greenwood? I think Greenwood. Any suggestion on who to VC? Probably just Mahrez or Antonio, whoever you want really. As long as the captain's on Salah, just chuck it on whoever you think is going to get the second highest points, apart from Mane, because I wouldn't captain and vice captain in the same game. I want to see your bench players. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'll get it on there on this transfers page. So the bench players will be Omobama Dele will be benched, Brownhill will be benched, and Obafemi will be benched. Is this mid okay? Sancho, Salah, Havertz, Mahrez. Yeah, it's not a bad midfield, except Sancho is only going to get subbed on in the first match. So I would expect 1 point from him in the first game week, unless he gets like a goal or assist when he comes on. But brace for a 1 point for Sancho. So maybe go for either Bruno or Mane or someone like that. Or yeah, maybe a Bruno or a Mane in there instead of Sancho could be nice. Thanks for your mate. Thoughts on captaining Bruno Fernandes? Yeah, it could be a good differential captain because a lot of people are going to captain Salah, and you could just go Mane. So you could just go Fernandes, who will probably get a similar points tally to Salah. If he gets more than him, then you'll see a nice little rank rise there. But I think if you're feeling like Fernandes could get more points, then why not? All good, yeah. So I think Day is a nice 4 mil option in terms of long-term starting. I think him and Zimmerman are the two defenders for Norwich that are competing against each other. Will Firpo start for Leeds? He has got an injury at the moment, but when he is fit, he'll start for Leeds. Has he? Actually, he may be back. Let's have a look. No, it looks like he will start for Leeds, so that's my bad. I think Firpo will start. So, yes, I think Firpo will start for Leeds. Who is the best 7.5 midfielder? The best 7.5 midfielder? Do you mean exactly 7.5 or up to 7.5? So I reckon up to 7.5, I think long term it's Rafinha or Barnes. Sanchez or Martinez? I've gone with Sanchez. I don't really like spending too much on my goalkeeper. I think 4.5 is the maximum price I'd pay for a goalkeeper, so that's why I've gone Sanchez. Your team, Jake, UTD4, Sanchez, Trent, Shaw, Simicast, Salah, Bruno, Buendia, Barnes, Tony, Ings, Antonio. That's a great team, yeah, I like it. It's a good team. I do like the differential, semi-differential in Buendia. I think adds something different, and also Barnes as well as the differential. What's Barnes' ownership like? 13.7, so he's still fairly differential, which is good. Richarlison and DCL will start for Everton. They will. That is the team used for Everton. They will be starting. Where does Barnes? So he's now snuck into that top midfielder ownership list. Let's look at Salah's. Oh wow, Luke Shaw's ownership 56.8. How is Luke Shaw the top owned player coming into game? Wow, that's ridiculous. So now Salah, Fernandes, and Shaw all owned by over 50% of people. That's one of the first times or seasons I've played FPL where there's been like 3 or more players with a 50% ownership or higher. That's crazy. So step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Barnes the 9th highest owned mid. 13.7%. That's still fairly low. So that's what I like about the midfield, right? It's a differential midfield. I've only got with Salah and Barnes there in the top 9 owned midfielders list. You should get Brighton's second keeper in case Sanchez gets injured. Yeah, I could. That's true, I could. But I think Begovic will play some games for Everton this year because inevitably Pickford will make that many mess ups that he'll have to get dropped again, which is what happened last season, and I think it's going to happen again this season. He's already started making mistakes in pre-season. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. Tony will flourish against Arsenal? Question mark. Possibly. I mean, based on what Tony said about himself, he seems to think he's going to bag an absolute hole and thinks he's going to be the top scoring player in FPL this year. But once again, first game a promoted team is playing. Don't know how that will go. I mean, it could go either way. Possibly could be a very high scoring game. But I would, if Tony is your option to have in your squad, then yes, I would do that. If we look at Tony's fixtures, what's they looking like? Yeah, I mean, for the first up until game week 5, there is definitely attacking potential for Tony there. So if you want to go for him, I guess you can. Newcastle just on Willock? Yes, they have. That is correct. He could be, once again, a very good option to have in the team. Yeah, guys, any questions, chuck them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer. Any questions either regarding just general life or anything about fantasy? Doesn't matter what it is, just answer. Let's get some captaincy thoughts in chat. What are we thinking for captain? I mean, it looks like it's gonna be pretty template. I mean, Salah, Mane, Fernandez, probably gonna be the template captains. Unless you might go for a differential. If anyone has a Boomerang, could be a punt to go for a Boomerang on captain first week. Ings hype is what I feel will take time to settle in. Yeah, I mean, Ings could have an instant pop-off because he's going to be probably the main threat for Aston Villa because Watkins will be playing a bit wider. What was our overall rank last season? Our overall rank last season was 300k. First year playing fantasy. So, I mean, first year playing as making content on YouTube for it. So, 500k was the rank. We did have a few hiccups throughout the season though, where some weeks as if you've been here for a long time, you would have known that some weeks we haven't posted videos, so that is taken into account as well. Kane or Lukaku? That's, I don't know. Well, they're both not playing for first week, so I don't know. Kane, yep. Uba and Lacazette apparently both sick. Not sure they're in the squad. No, they are both not in the squad. Tony Greenwood or Antonio and Rafinha? I would go for Antonio and Rafinha. Can you see my messages? Where are you sending them? Is the question. Are you sending them on Twitter, Instagram, or where? Okay, where?
Simicast confirmed start. Yeah, I think he is pretty much confirmed to start. Milner is most likely going to play. But I think Milner will play in the midfield and Simicast will play at left back. So I think, yes, Simicast will start.
If there's any team news that anyone knows, feel free to just chuck the questions in chat. Chuck them in chat. Is it okay to have 0.5 mil spare? Yeah, of course. It's good to have some money in the bank. Well, I think originally in our first and second drafts we posted, we had 0.5 in the bank. It's always good to have the extra to upgrade players if needed. I'm sending them on YouTube. Whereabouts in chat? Because if so, I'm not sure. I'm trying to read every single message. Can you review my team? Sure, send your team in. Willick just been confirmed? Yeah. We're aware of this. Can you review my team? Yeah. Simicast or Trent Alexander-Arnold? If it came down between the two, probably Trent, because once again, Simicast out by 12th of September because Robertson's back then. How to send your team? Either post it in the YouTube live chat or send us a DM on Twitter at FPL Flair or on Instagram at FPL Flair and we will reply. What about Amati? Will he start? Will Amati start? Yeah, for first week Amati will be starting. I still have 10.5 mil for midfield. I'm thinking of taking a punt on Pepe and game week 2 I will change him to Son. I mean, yeah, punts can be very useful and also very painful. Going for Pepe against Brentford as a punt, that's probably, I'd say it's a good punt to go for. It just depends whether you want to have to transfer him out again later. Are you going to doing videos on the Fix channel as well? We'll have to see. I think we possibly might be, but we'll have to wait for, I think, what's his name? What's his role? We'll have to wait for, I think he is something about the social coordinator of Fantasy Football Fix. He'll contact us. We've been back and forth in contact, hence why we have Fix promotion, but hopefully we do get some vids on the Fix channel. I've already sent my team on your Twitter. What's your Twitter handle? We'll reply. We've got lots of messages. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we got your team. Thank you for that. We will reply. Thoughts on leaving Trent out and going for bigger guns all around in midfield? Well, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a pretty template option. Once again, 33.8%. But I mean, if you want to spend money in the midfield, definitely do that because midfield. If your midfield's sold, then you're pretty much set, I guess. Good luck for this FPL season. Yeah, you too. Love from India. Yes, we have actually got viewers all over the place. So I do appreciate people from India watching. We have quite a few viewers from India. But yes, send love back from Melbourne. The person who sent their team in to us before on Twitter, your image currently is not loading for us. Unless you want to just send it via text, put your team in via text and send it to us because the image currently is not showing up. Thoughts on my team sent on Instagram. We'll take a look now. Havertz or Tony or Greenwood and Wilson. Oh, both very good. Probably I would go for Greenwood and Wilson, except there is an injury concern with Wilson. Mahrez or Son, I would go with Mahrez because I think he's probably the most nailed on option for City right now. Do I bench Soufal or Rafinha for Simicast? I would go Soufal as defender, wouldn't get as many points as a midfielder you would think. Hi from Malaysia. Hello. We used to live near Malaysia, so interested. Fun fact. 3 requests. Person who sent in their team via Instagram. I've currently got no DMs. If you want to put your Instagram handle in the chat, that's fine. Can you see my picture I sent you on Twitter? We currently can't, so it's just not loading. So unless you want to type it to us in your text, you just type it in the message bar and send it to us normally. Missing on. Great show. Thank you very much. We just surpassed 50 likes, so yes. Thank you, do appreciate it. Alright, that on Instagram. Let's have a look at your Instagram, shall we? Alright. I currently have not got any DMs from you on Instagram. Oh, possibly just came through then. Yep. All right, we just got your DM then. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll rate your team. Savesh, we have not got your DM at the moment. Can't receive your messages. They don't allow new message requests from everyone. Okay, I don't know why it's saying that. I have not denied your request or anything. Unless you want to send on Twitter, perhaps. Yeah, we'll quickly reply to your Instagram DM. Thank you for sending through. Yeah, Savesh, you want to try sending on Twitter? We'll should be able to work on there. Everyone chat, if you want to post what country you're currently watching, it'd be interesting to see where everyone's from. We seem to have lots of people from England, Melbourne, Malaysia, India in the chat. Got people from all around the place. Nepal, wow. I've not think we've seen many people from Nepal. That's impressive. Is it currently winter there, or is it good weather at the moment? Once again, guys, if you want to send any of your teams, send them through via Instagram or Twitter. Yep, we got your team. We're just responding to that message now. Good weather. Yep, that's great. Good to hear. Random question, but have you ever flown into Lukla Airport or Lukla Airport, however you say it? Seen lots about that airport, very interested. Are we all excited for Premier League? I am very excited for the first match. It'd be good to finally get back into it. We do miss Premier League. We will be pumping out as much content as we possibly can over this first 5 weeks because all the hype around the Premier League then, so we'll try to be posting daily. Yeah, we're currently responding to your Instagram message right now, so it will come through once we're finished typing back. Yeah, we just sent the message to you regarding your team review. If you want to take a look at that. How did we get that out of here? That was an accident. Let's reload the page, show where that goes. Sorry for the trouble. No, all good. No stress.
It's a lot summer. Yeah, well, at 5 weeks or 6 weeks. You have to. I give you most point every year, so.
Sorry, but that's good as. I hope you will show the team here and review during live. Yes, I would show here, but if it was on Twitter, I would be able to do that, but I do not want to right now because I don't think we have the facilities for that. If anyone wants to send through on Twitter, unless we have Twitter open currently, yep, just I would have the Twitter page up as well, but due to current circumstances, I can't actually switch over to our Twitter page at the moment. You sent your team on Twitter, yep, we'll take a look at that for you. Sanchez, Dean Shaw, Target, Simicas, Solo Captain, Bruno, Greenwood, Jota, Ings, Antonio. Very solid team. Seems very template at the back as usual. Template's good within the first couple of weeks. Get that solid start. Target not as template, but still definitely a good option. Simicas, good. See, there's no Alexander Arnold in there. If you have the money, definitely replace Simicas with Trent. Solo Captain, nice. Bruno, good. Double Manchester United midfield. Double Liverpool midfield. Ings, Antonio, good forward line. What do you think of the team? Yep, overall, pretty solid team. Only would change 3 mil left. Any upgrade ideas? Honestly, it seems like a solid side. If anything, if you want to get Trent in, possibly downgrade Greenwood, so you can and get out Simicas and afford Trent. That's probably what I would do. Is Havertz a good pick? He's definitely differential. We'll take a look at Havertz. Hopefully it's not auto-correct. Fixtures. What are the fixtures looking like? Fixtures are quite on and off this season, as you like quite decent percentage own Havertz. Only got 4 goals, 6 last season. Potentially, if you want to go for a differential punt, then Havertz probably definitely a man.
If you got 3 more left, then such a short target. Then I'd try and get in Trent somehow. Who's your 5th defender? If you could try and turn your 5th defender into Trent, then your team would be complete.
Thoughts on Ben White? Yeah, I reckon he's got better potential at Arsenal than he did at Brighton. Yeah, probably going to get clean sheet in the first week, but yeah, he's definitely want to have, whether you want to put him on the bench or not. I know Fantasy Football Fix have him in their team as they have him on the algorithm squad as on the bench. Smith, Dean, Cresswell, Amati. Which 2 to pick? White, Ailing, or White, Ailing development. Got Sanchez in goal. Yeah, White and Ailing doubling up. Oh, we've doubled up, but whether it depends if Begovic starts, because there's definitely talk about Everton rotating their keepers and stuff like that. So if Begovic is starting, we could play Begovic and then have Veltman actually on starting instead of possibly on the bench, depending on fixture rotations. Yep. White and Ailing as they rotate well. Yep, White and Ailing rotate quite well. If you want to take a look at our game week preview video and skip to the defensive rotation section. We posted the best defensive rotation to maximize points. The highest defensive rotation for the highest amount of points was Veltman and Ailing rotation. Went to 30.3 points in the first 5 weeks, and that was selected by Fantasy Football Fix. Rafinha injured, I think. Oh, retracted message. Alright. Sanchez, Shaw, TAA, Young, Bruno, Salah, Suchek, Shaka, Mahrez, Ings, Antonio. Is it okay? Gone for quite differential picks in there. I keep saying that wrong. Suchek, Shaka, Young. Quite differential options in that team. Differential can be good, but also can be very, very bad. But if you do back in that team, don't be influenced by whatever other YouTubers are selecting. But I reckon otherwise they're good options. Will Havertz start? Is Havertz going to start is the question. Yes, Havertz will start. Fantasy Football Fix says so. People in chat who were here earlier, Chelsea fans were telling us who was starting, so all of that. It's all positive. Oh, it's that guy's. This is Connor Moore, is it? I sure it was Jurgen Klopp. Roma team, Sanchez, Steele, Trent Shaw, Simikas, White, Ailing, Salah, Bruno, Mahrez, Greenwood, Brownhill, Antonio, Ings, Obafemi. Trent Shaw, Simikas, White, good solid defense. I like that. Like the picks he got going there. Salah, Bruno, good. Mahrez, yep, good. He'll be starting. Greenwood, double United midfield. That's good if you're backing that, depending whether you want to transfer out Greenwood later on eventually. Antonio, Ings, Obafemi, great forward options. Obviously, Obafemi, I'm guessing, will be on the bench. Greenwood or Barnes or Ben Rama. We'll definitely go with Barnes. As you can see, we've got Barnes in our team right now. Barnes, 13.7% ownership. I think, what's Greenwood's ownership? I think it's a bit more than that. Oh no, it's less, 7.4. I think Barnes will get more points. I think he's actually projected to get more points. Stop between Greenwood and Barnes, definitely a better option there. Sanchez, Shaw, Dean, Simikas, Salah, Mahrez, Mane, Rafinha, Antonio, Ings, Wilson. Great forward line, all injury prone though, which, we can't really have pretty much same players up top. Shaw, Trent, Simikas, yep, good picks. Bruno, Salah, Rafinha, great options. Nothing too much to say about those. They're just good all-round picks. Greenwood, Brownhill, definitely good bench option to have. Budget enabler, great option. Greenwood, definitely see a lot of people going with him. Hopefully he can get some points return. Preset, I think, solid side that. Can get Son from downgrading striker and switching for Barnes. I would stay with Barnes for now. That's just my personal choice. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is available for Saturday. Yes, that is correct. He is available for Saturday. That got revealed to us before. Planning to switch Antonio to Mahrez with Son and Tony game week 3. What's Mahrez's fixtures looking like? Yeah, well, I quite like that, but it just depends whether... Well, I'm guessing... I'll pretty much know that Mahrez will be starting for City, so whether you want to have Mahrez for that Norwich fixture instead of that Arsenal fixture, but completely up to you. What do you think about Wilson for Ings after game week 3? Ings game week 3, yeah. Honestly, looking at those, I would do that. DCL and Buendia will start. I don't know for sure DCL would, but would Buendia start? Yes, Buendia is going to start. So, yep, those two players confirmed to start. So if you have them in your team, it's all good.
This is a violation.
Thoughts on Brownhill? Yeah, budget enabler. Definitely would not start him if you're thinking of doing that. Definitely, like, for sure, bench player. Do we have Brownhill? Yes, we do. Here he is. Brownhill at 4.3% ownership. Yeah, he'll probably be our first bench option. So he'll come on. If one of our players don't play, what's his fixtures? I mean, possibly could get a return against Brighton. Honestly, not certain him getting any returns. But it's definitely still on the cards. If you guys have any questions or team reviews, leave them in chat or send us a DM on Instagram or Twitter, or just add us on Twitter. Ailing, yep. As I said, Ailing, great option. We just don't have him in our team, obviously, right now. Needless to say, is definitely the good option. I was saying before, not sure if you were here for or not, but Ailing Veltman projected 30.3 points when rotating those two players within the first 5 weeks. Yeah, would definitely have Ailing, possibly on bench, not necessarily starting though. Brown Almighty Oberfit. Yeah. You guys, any questions? Chuck them into the chat. It's great to talk to you all. Came in late, mate. Thanks though. All good, all good. If you want to have a look at what I told you before, more in depth, look at our game week preview video and just skip to the defensive rotations part of it. We talk about what I pretty much what I just told you about Ailing and Veltman and rotating between those players and why they're the best options for cheap 4.5 mil people to rotate between, and it also tells you what fixtures to play them for as well. So, we don't want to remove him. So yeah, definitely, I would check that part out. Probably don't want to watch the rest of it, so just check that main part out. Thoughts on Troy Deeney? Yeah, no, that hasn't really been talked about much. But Troy Deeney probably won't start for Watford. So I mean, the 3.5% owned, 5.5 mil. That's couldn't really complain about the price. Possibly 5 million, but he's not going to be getting starting minutes, and whether he'll be scoring for Watford will be a completely different thing as well. I mean, Watford up until looks like up until game week 7 have a fairly good run of fixtures. So if you want to go for differential, like, why not knock yourself out? Go for them. Differential can be quite good as well. Because if they get points and no one else has them, you'll be getting a massive rank rise. What do you think about my team? Centrist Foster, Arnold, Shaw, Smikas, Ailing, Veltman. Ailing, Veltman, quite like those options. Arnold, great option, template as well. Shaw, great option, hence why we have him. Simikas, good. I mean, Simikas is just great value at 4 mil, starting for Liverpool as well. But obviously available until 12th of September, so you will have to transfer him out then, whether you want to waste that transfer or not. Son, Salah, Mahrez, Greenwood, Ben Rama, Ings, DCL, and Persio. My formation 3-5-2. That Son pick possibly could be upgraded to a Bruno Fernandes, whether you then want to downgrade Ben Rama or downgrade Dominic Calvert-Lewin to someone else. You could enable that team to make it possibly better, but if you're happy with that, definitely go for it. Debating Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz is definitely a good option, but is Ruben Diaz going to start? Diaz. Yeah, Ruben Diaz starting. What's City's fixtures? Let's have a look. And they got a pretty decent start. I mean, Manchester City they're just a great all-round team, so no fixtures really are hard for City. City is seen as a hard fixture. So, I mean, yeah, Diaz definitely gets forward, puts in crosses, assists, all that. So, yeah, why not go for Diaz? Is Son essential? I wouldn't call Son essential at the moment. Obviously, he had the price rise. But I don't think Son at the moment is essential. Depends whether he is going to hit good form or not. Son, Veltman, and Tony. So, Son, Veltman, and Tony, or Cancelo, Jota, and Richarlison. I'll go for Son, Veltman, and Tony in that team. How about Antonio or DCL, Madison Barnes is the second option. Which Leicester midfielder? I would go for DCL Barnes in that team. Rafinha has been called up to Brazil. Rafinha is in game week 4. So we have to make way for that transfer, possibly replace him with Harrison. So maybe safer to go with, just said that. Good. Leeds don't necessarily have the best fixtures, so you don't really have to go for Rafinha in the first place, or necessarily Harrison. Mahrez, Benrahma, Buendia, Rafinha, Greenwood, Tony, plus 7 mil mid. Yeah, solid team. No Bruno. Yes, at the moment we don't have any Bruno Fernandes in our team. Backing in Mahrez, who'll be starting for City, could potentially be getting lots of attacking returns for us. Barnes is an all-round great option. But it's slightly more differential than Fernandes. Hopefully Barnes comes back into this season strong after his season-ending injury last season. Is Son worth getting as well as Salah and Bruno? Yeah, for sure. I mean, Salah and Bruno, great options. You can't really debate those. Hello, FPL King. How are you, FPL King? Good to see you in the chat. This is some bold step without Bruno. Yeah, a lot of people have been commenting about us not having Bruno in our team, but Mahrez going to be starting slightly more differential. Same with Barnes, a tad less owned. And if they get all the points, we'll be getting all the rank rise. Because Bruno Fernandes is highly owned. Not to say he's not a good option. We'd love to have Bruno in our team, but just feel like this is the best option for us. My team: Sanchez, Arnold, Shaw, Simicats, Mahrez, Salah, Bruno, Souček, Ings, Antonio, Tony. Very template, apart from that Souček option though. Like Trent, like Shaw, like Simicats, we'll have to transfer him out as of 12th September. Mahrez, we've got Mahrez, great option, a bit differential, and he will be starting for Manchester City. Salah, Bruno, normal template picks, great. Ings, Antonio, Tony, very template forwards, nice. Front three: Antonio, Calvert-Lewin, Ings. That is a very strong forward line. Tony or Ings? I would go with Ings. Ings will be playing more forward, and he's going to be starting pretty much every single match anyway. Tony from newly promoted Brentford. Depends how Brentford go. I mean, we'll have to see, because it'll be interesting to see how Brentford go, because they're probably one of the worst teams in the Premier League right now. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Ings and Mahrez or Son and Tony? I would go with Ings and Mahrez for that, because Mahrez will be starting for Manchester City. And Ings is he's the daddy of FPL, and he's going to be up front for Villa the entire time. Cresswell or Shaw? I would go with Shaw. I mean, Cresswell slightly less owned, so you could be getting a lot higher rank rise if you have Cresswell in your team. But Shaw, great Euros tournament, solid pre-season, selected by a lot of managers. Just all-round great option, I reckon, Shaw. Thanks, bro. All good. Rafinha or Simicas to start? Definitely Rafinha to start. Obviously, Simicas being a defender, I think if you compare midfielder to a defender, midfielders would win that battle most of the time, unless you're a Trent Alexander-Arnold or a Shaw or a Soufal, for example. We're going to be closing off the stream very soon, probably within the next couple of minutes, so any final questions, chuck them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer. Who was the best Game Week 1 midfielder punt? That is a very good question. I would say Mane in the midfield. I'm very surprised Mane is only selected by 4.6. He hit a really good patch of form towards the end of last season. 11 goals, 11 assists. He's just, in my opinion, he's just a great option. Could start with an absolute bang to the start of the new season. Obviously they've got their game today, so be interesting to see how he goes. Who goes? Will Veltman start for Brighton? Yes, Veltman will be starting for Brighton. Son and Tony or Mahrez and Ings? Mahrez and Ings for me. What about City's defenders? We know Diaz is starting. Who else do we know? Diaz would probably be the only City defender you would go for because he's probably the most nailed on option. The other options would be quite risky. You have to see what Pep will play. Mahrez and Gundogan or Son and Rafinha? I would go Mahrez and... I guess that's double City, isn't it? Well, Gundogan will be starting because KDB's injury. I don't know. That's a very good question. I'll go Son and Rafinha for that one. Diaz or Chilwell? Definitely Diaz. Alright, everyone, get your last questions in right now if you want to answer any questions, because we'll be ending the stream very, very shortly. Get a full power nap and then get up for the game. Game week 1, Havertz. Game week 2, Havertz to Mahrez or Son. What do you think? I would go Havertz to Mahrez because Mahrez is nailed on and has City just an all-round solid team. So, it'll be backing in Mahrez and his differential as well. So you could be holding in all the points with that. Is Rafinha that good of an option for the first few weeks? He's been quite... The Leeds fixtures aren't the best. So, depending whether you want to do that or not. We're going to fix all those fixtures. So, obviously he's got international duties. Whether you want to play him against United, Everton and Liverpool, probably not. Target or cash target, Ailing, Veltman or White? That's a good question. Ailing, Veltman or White? I'll go with White. Dean or Wan-Bissaka? Dean, do you think Broja will start? Broja. Is that Jota or Barnes and Dean or Soufal and Greenwood? I'll probably go with Barnes and Dean. Is Rodrigo a good pick? Not sure if he's gonna be starting, so we'll have to see what he does with Pep does with Man City. Rodrigo from Leeds. Then I'm guessing he'll be starting. So, yes. What's your insert so I can send my team? Our Instagram is in the description of this video. Or you can just search FPL Flair on Instagram or Twitter. Son and Saka or Mahrez and Greenwood? Mahrez and Greenwood. Barnes and Greenwood or Rafinha and Gundogan? Barnes and Greenwood. Will Havertz start? Yes, Havertz will start. Alright, last couple of questions to get in, then we'll be heading off. Once again, thanks for all the subscribers. Been absolutely fantastic. Hitting 3k subs and then gaining 25 subs off the live stream, so thank you very much for that. So final questions, get them sent in and we'll answer them. I'm going for Mahrez, Jota and Greenwood because I'm wildcarding game week 7. Yep. Barnes or Madison, debating due to set pieces. Madison isn't on set pieces anymore, so Barnes for that. What about Saint Maximin? Well,
Saint Maximan. That is, no one's haven't really heard much of him. Saint Maximan. I would go for Wilson over Saint Maximan if can. But start Simicast or White. I would start Simicast for that. Is Sonnet a no-go? I won't say Son's a no-go. We just wouldn't have him in our team due to other players we've selected. But if you want to go for Son, definitely go for him. Send your team on Insta. We'll check that out. Place your file Tony. I would go Tony. I want Barnes, but I like my back line. Do I need Trent if I have Simicast? I would go Trent over Simicast, but purely up to you. Simicast is only going to be until 12th of September, so then you have to get rid of him again. Trent on set pieces, on corners, puts in crosses, just a great player. Foster Ailing, Ben Rama, Brownhill. Is that bench good? Yes, that bench is good. Very template bench. Having cheap players in your bench is good. Or sub in Rafinha for one of them. If you have the money to sub in Rafinha for Brownhill, then probably do that. I have Triple Man United and Liverpool. Triple United Liverpool. I'm assuming you would have Salah, Arnold, Simicast perhaps, and Shaw, Greenwood, Fernandez as your triple ups. They're definitely good triple ups. Just as I said previously, it can be risky, having to share the points across all those players. A good forward for around 6.5 million. Ivan Toney, I would say. Which Brentford midfielder is good? Mbuemo, probably the best option, but Brentford don't really have a strong side, so I don't think many of them will be getting many FPL points. I have Shaw, Greenwood, Fernandez, Salah, Simicast, Jota. No Trent. If you're not going to go with Trent, then obviously can't make any comment about that, but I would probably have Trent in the team. Why do you have no Bruno? But I like that one pick. We want to go differential with Mane. He is 12 million. Only selected by 4.6% of managers. But yeah, he's just, I don't know, he had a really good end to last season. 11 goals, 11 assists, hit good form, so hopefully he can continue that into next season. That's why I've gone with him. Rafinha, Barnes. I'll go for Barnes. Mahrez and Brownhill, or Ferran Torres and Trossard. Mahrez and Brownhill. Rafinha and Soufal, or Barnes and Ailing. I'll go with Barnes and Ailing. My team. Alright, last question and then we'll wrap it up for the stream. I do appreciate everyone coming in for the stream. It's been a pleasure having everyone in, talking with us. There'll be more deadline streams in the future. It's absolutely great fun speaking to everyone. Will Mahrez start though? Yes, Mahrez will start. That's why we have him in our team. Him and Gundogan are nailed on for what we know. Fantasy Football Fix predicts that, and just the general Twitter community has been saying that. Why should I put Barnes? Who should I put, Barnes or Bowen? I would go for Barnes. Bro, you're underrated. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Play Soufal or Tony. I'll play Tony purely because Tony's a forward, and against Arsenal, could potentially be getting an assist or a goal. Barnes and Ailing or Rafinha or Soufal. I'll go Barnes and Ailing because Rafinha out in game week 4 for international, and his fixtures aren't the best to start. If you like our channel, thank you very much. Do appreciate that. Alright guys, we have to wrap it up there. We're gonna go get a little bit of sleep because it is 2:30 AM where we are right now, so we will wrap it up. Buendia or Benrahma? I'll go for Benrahma. Show your bench. Oh yes, so that's our bench right now. Begovic, we've gone Begovic over Foster. Just because Begovic could be getting rotated with Pickford quite a lot. And according to sources, he's probably going to get some minutes. Thanks for the stream. It's 5:30 p.m. Yes, I'm assuming, is that in England? It's 5:30 right now. Not sure. It's just time zones in Australia are just absolutely crazy compared to everywhere else. Alright, we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much. Any other final teams, send them in on Twitter and Instagram. We will reply to them right now, and then we'll head off, and we'll see everyone next time. Okay, last one, real quick. Why do you have Mane over Bruno? Because Mane is slightly more differential, and he hit good form end of last season, and we could think he can carry that into next season with those good run of fixtures. Okay, I'll reply. Should I sell Pepe? Depends whether you want to go for that differential punt or not. But if you can get other players better than Pepe and probably not take that risk, then yes. You're great, respect you, bro. Thank you very much. Should I play Watkins? So many questions. I'll probably play Ings because Watkins will be playing a bit further back and on the wing. So probably not. Ings will be the main threat up top. Yeah, any other questions, send them through via Instagram and Twitter, and we will see you